A Day by John Greenleaf, Whittier. Talk not of sad November, when a day of warmer glad sunshine fills the sky of noon, and the wind, borrowed from some morn of June, stirs the brown grasses and the leafless spray. On the unfrosted pool the pillared pines lay their long shafts of shadow, the small rills singing a pleasant song of summer still, and line of silver down the hill slope shines. Hushed the bird voices and the hum of bees, in the thin grass the crickets pipe no more, but still the squirrel hoards his winter store, and drops his nutshells from the shagbark trees. Softly the dark green hemlocks whisper, high above the spurs of yellowing larches show, where the woodpecker and home-loving crow and jay and nuthatch winter's threat defy. Our gracious beauty, ever new and old, our sights and sounds of nature doubly dear, when the low sunshine warns the closing year of snow-blown fields and waves of arctic cold. Close to my heart I fold each lovely thing the sweet day yields, and, not disconsolate with the calm patience of the woods I wait for leaf and blossom when God gives us spring. A Dream of Summer by John Greenleaf, Whittier. Bland as the morning breath of June, the southwest breezes play, and through its haze the winter noon seems warm as summer's day. The snow-plumbed angel of the north has dropped its icy spear. Again the mossy earth looks forth, again the streams gush clear. The fox his hillside self forsakes, the muskrat laves his nook. The bluebird in the meadow breaks is singing with a brook. Be up, O Mother Nature, cry, birds, breathe its streamlet free. Our winter voices prophesy of summer days to we. Song those winters of a soul by bitter blasts and drear, outswept from memory's frozen pole will sunny days appear. Reviving hope and fate, we show the soul its living powers, and how beneath the winter snow lie germs of summer flowers. The night is mother of a day, the winter of a spring, and even upon all these the greenest mosses cling. Behind the cloud the starlight lurks, through showers the sunbeams fall, for God, who loveth all his works, has left his hope with all. A Lay of Old Time by John Greenleaf, Whittier. One morning of the first set fall, poor Adam and his bride sat in the shade of Eden's wall, but on the outer side. She, blushing in a thick-leaved suit of a chaste garb of old, he sang o'er his bitter fruit for Eden's droops of gold. Behind them, smiling in the morn, their forfeit garden lay. Before them, wild with rock and thorn, the desert stretched away. They heard the air above and hand a light step on his head, and lo, they saw before them stand the angel of the Lord. Arise, he said, well look behind, when hope is all before, and patient hand and willing mind your loss may yet restore. I leave with you a spell whose power can make the desert glad, and call around your fruit and flower as fair as Eden had. I clothe your hands with power to lift the curse from off your soil, your very doom shall seem a gift, your loss a gain through toil. Go, cheerful as yon humming bees, to labor as to play, while glimmering over Eden's trees the angel passed away. The pilgrims of the world went forth obedient to the word, and found wherever they tilled the earth a garden of the Lord. The thorn tree cast its evil fruit and blushed with plum and pear, and cedar grass and trodden rod grew sweet beneath their care. We share our primal parents' fate, and in our turn and day look back on Eden's sordid gate as sad and lost as way. But still for us his native skies the pitying angel leaves, and leads through toil to paradise, new Adams and new Eves. A Legacy by John Greenleaf, Whittier. Friend of my many years, and a great silence falls at last on me. Let me not leave to pain and sadden thee a memory of tears, but pleasant thoughts alone, of one who was the friendship's honored guest, and drank a wine of consolation pressed from sorrows of her own. I leave with thee a sense of hands upheld in trials renderless, the unselfish joy which is to helpfulness its own great recompense, the knowledge wet from wine as from the garments of a master, stole calmness and strength, a virtue which makes whole and heals without a sign. Yea, more, the assurance strong that love, which fails of perfect utterance here, lives on to fill the heavenly atmosphere with its immortal song. A Memory by John Greenleaf, Whittier. Here while the loom of winter weaves a shroud of flowers and fountains, I think of thee in summer eves among the northern mountains. And thunder told the twilight's close, and winds the lake or root on were with singing a carios, the bonny yos of Clun. When, close and closer hushing breath, our circle narrowed around we, and smiles and tears made up the wreath, with our silence crowned we. And stranger all we felt the ties of sisters and of brothers, whose of all was kindly eyes no smile upon another's. The spot of time was still apart, the waves of life is flinging, or nevermore shall heart to heart draw nearer for that singing. Yet when the panes are frosty stared, and twilight's fire is gleaming, I hear the song of Scotland's bards sound soft through my dreaming. A song that leans to winter snows, the glow of summer weather. Again I hear thee car the yows, the Clun's hills of Hive. A Mystery by John Greenleaf, Whittier. The river hemmed with leaning trees wound through its meadows green. A low blue line of mountain showed the open pines between. One sharp tall peak above them all clear into sunlight sprang. I saw the river of my dreams, the mountains that I sang. No clue of memory led me on, but where the ways I knew. A feeling of familiar things with every footstep grew. Not otherwise above its crag would lean the blasted pine. Not otherwise the maple hold aloft its red sign. So up the long and shorn foothill the mountain road should creep. So green and low the meadow fold its red-haired kindness sleep. The river would, as it should wind, the place the mountains took. The white-horn fringes of the clouds wore no unwonted look. Yet never before that river's rim was pressed by feet of mine, never before mine eyes had crossed the broken mountain line. A presence, strange at once and known, walked with me as my guide. The skirts of some forgotten life trailed noiseless at my side. Was it a dim remembered dream, or a glimpse through ions old? The secret which the mountains keep the river never told. But from the vision earth past tender hope I drew, and pleasant as the dawn of spring the thought within me grew. But love would temper every change, and soften all surprise, and misty with the dreams of earth the hills of heaven arise. A Song for the Time by John Greenleaf Whittier. Up laggards of freedom our free flag is cast, to the blaze of the sun and the wings of a blast. We return from a struggle so bravely begun, from a foe that is breaking, a field that's half won. Whoso loves and not is kind, and who fears not the Lord, let him join with foe service, accursed and abhorred. Let him do his base will, as the slave only can. Let him put on the bloodhound and put off a man. Let him go where the cold blood that creeps in his veins shall stiffen the slave whip and rust on his chains. Where the black slave shall laugh in his bonds, to behold the white slave beside him, self-lettered and sold. But ye who still boast of hearts beating and warm, rise from lake shore and oceans, like waves in a storm. Come, throng round our banner in liberty's name, like winds from your mountains, like prairies aflame. Our foe, hidden long in his ambush of night, our force from his covert stands black in the light. Our cruel to man and the hateful to God, smite him down to the earth that is cursed where he trod. For deeper than thunder of summer's loud shower on the dome of the sky, God is striking the hour. Shall we falter before what we have prayed for so long, when wrong is so weak and the right is so strong? Come forth all together, come old and come young, freedom's vote in each hand and a song in each tongue. Truth naked is stronger than falsehood and mate, the wrong cannot prosper, the right cannot fail. Like leaves of the summer once numbed with foe, but the hoarfrost is falling, the northern winds blow. Like leaves of November, along shall they fall, for earth varies of them and God's over all. A Word for the Hour by John Greenleaf Whittier. The firmament breaks up, a black eclipse, light after light goes out. One evil star, lonely glaring through the smoke of war, as in the dream of the apocalypse, drags others down. Let us not weakly weep, nor rashly threaten. Give us grace to keep our faith and patience. Wherefore should we leap on one hand into fratricidal fight, on the other yield eternal right? Frame lights of law and good and ill confound? What fear we, save on freedom's vintage ground a fleet are planted? Let us there remain in unrevengeful calm, nor means untried which truth can sanction, nor just claim denied, the sad spectators of a suicide. We break the links of union. Shall we light the fires of hell to wield anew the chain on that red anvil where each blow's pain? Draw we not even our freer breath, as from our shoulders falls a load of death, loathsome as that the Tuscan's victim bore, and keen with life to that horror bound? Why take we up the accursed thing again? But I forgive, but urge them back no more, nor drunk with passion flaunt disunion's wreck, with its vile ripple blazon. Let us press the golden cluster on our brave old flag in closer union, and if numbering less, brighter shall shine the stars which still remain. After Election by John Greenleaf Whittier. The day's sharp strife is ended now, our work is done, God knoweth how. As on the thronged unrested town the patience of the moon looks down, I wait to hear beside the wild voices of its tongues of fire. Slow, doubtful, faint, they seem at first. Be strong, my heart, to know the worst. Hark, that your legion ye spoke. That sound from lake and prairie broke, that sunset gun of triumph rent the silence of a continent. That signal from Nebraska sprung, this from Nevada mountain tongue. Is that thy answer, strong and free, O loyal heart of Tennessee? What strange glad voices were which calls from Wagner's grave and Sumter's wall? From Mississippi's fountainhead a sound as of the hiss of treat. There rustled freedom's charter oak, and that wild burst the outside spoke. She answers, cheer from rise to set of sun, we have a country yet, the praise of God be thine alone, who givest not for bread a stone, who hast not lead us through the night, to blind us with returning light, and through the furnace have we passed to perish at its mouth at last. A night of peace, with light restrain, November moon be slow to wane, shine on the freedom's cabin floor, on brows of prayer a blessing pour, and give the full assurance blessed the very heart of freedom rest. An artist of beautiful, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Haunted of beauty like the marvelous youth who sang St. Agnes' Eve, who passed fair shapes to colour in thy homestead air, horned by canvas even her dreams were truth, magician who from commodest elements called up divine ideals, clothed upon thy mystic lights, soft blending into one womanly grace and childlike innocence. Teacher I thy lesson was not given in vain, beauty is goodness, ugliness is sin, art's place is sacred, nothing fool therein, may crawl or fret with bestial feet profane, if rightly choosing as the painter's test, thy choice, O master, ever was the best. An Easter flower gift, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Our dearest bloom the season knows, flowers of resurrection blow, our hope and faith restore, and through the bitterness of death and loss and sorrow, breathe a breath of life for evermore. The fount of love immortal blends, the fond remembrance of friends, in you, O sacred flowers, by human love made doubly sweet, the heavenly and the earthly meet, the heart of Christ and ours. April, by John Greenleaf Whittier. 'Tis the noon of a springtime, yet never a bird in the wind-shaken elm or the maple is heard. For green meadow grasses, white levels of snow, and blowing of drifts if a crocus should blow, a windflower and violet, amber and white, on south-sloping brook sides should smile in the light, or the cold winter beds of their late waking roots, the frosty flag eddies the ice crystal shoots. And longing for light under wind-driven heaps, around the boughs of the pine where the ground laurel creeps, unkissed of the sunshine and baptized of showers, with buds scarcely swelled which should burst into flowers, we wait for thy coming, sweet wind of the south. For the touch of thy light wings, the kiss of thy mouth, for the yearly evangel thou bearest from God, resurrection, life to the graves of his Lord. Up our long river valley, for days have not ceased, the wail and the shriek of the bitter northeast, raw and chill, as winnowed through ices and snow, all the way from the land of the wild Eskimo, until all our dreams of the land of the blessed, like dread hunters, turn to the sunny southwest. Our soul of a springtime is light in its breath, bring warmth to his coldness, bring life to his death. Renew the great miracle, let us behold the stone from the mouth of the sepulchre road, and nature like a Lazarus rise as of old. Let our fate, which in darkness and coldness has lain, revive with warmth and with brightness again, and in blooming of flowers and budding of tree, the symbols and types of our destiny see. The life of a springtime, the life of a whole, and the sun to the sleeping earth, love to the soul. At last, by John Greenleaf Whittier. When in my day of life the night is falling, and in the winds from unseen spaces blown, I hear thy voices out of darkness calling, my feet to paths unknown. Thou hast made my home of life so pleasant, leave not its tenant when its words say, O love divine, O helper ever present, be thou my strength and stay. Be near me when all else is for me drifting, earth, sky, home's pictures, days of shade and shine, and kindly faces to my own uplifting the love which answers mine. I have but thee, my Father. Let thy spirit be with me when the comfort and uphold, no gate of pearl, no branch of palm merit, no street of shining gold. Suffice it if my good and ill unreckoned, and both forgiven through thy abandoned grace, I find myself by hands familiar beckoned unto my fitting place. Some humble door among thy many mansions, some sheltering shade where sin and striving cease, and flows forever through heaven's green expansions, the river of thy peace. Where from the music round about me stealing, I fain would learn the new and holy song, and find at last beneath thy trees of healing the life for which I long. Autumn Thoughts, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Gone hath the spring with all its flowers, and gone the summer's pomp and show, and autumn in its leafless bowers is waiting for the winter's snow. I said to earth, so cold and grey, an emblem of myself thou art, not so the earth did seem to say, for spring shall warm my frozen heart. I soothe my wintry sleep with dreams of warmer sun and softer rain, and wait to hear the sound of streams and songs of merry birds again. But thou from whom the spring hath gone, for whom the flowers no longer blow, who standest blighted and forlorn like autumn waiting for the snow. No hope is wine of sunny hours, where winter shall no more depart, no spring revive her wasted flowers, nor summer warm my frozen heart. Between the Gates, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Between the gates of birth and death, an old and slainly pilgrim passed, with look of one who witnessed the long sought goal at last. and those reverent feet have found the Master's footprints in the way, and walked whereon his holy ground, a boon of thee I pray. My leg would bow by excess, my feeble fate to strength of wine. I need thy soul's white saintliness to hide the stains of mine. The grace and favour else denied may well be granted for thy sake. So tempted, doubting, sorely tried, a younger pilgrim spake. By prayer my son scans my gift, no power is mine. The sage replied, the burden of a soul to lift, the stain of sin to hide. However the outward life may seem, for pardoning grace we all must pray. No man his brother can redeem, or his soul's ransom pay. Not always age's growth of good, its years have losses with their gain. Against some evil youth have stood, weak hands may strive in vain. With deeper voice than any speech of mortal lips from man to man, what earth's unwisdom may not teach, the spirit only can. Make thou that holy guide thine own, and following where it leads the way. The known shall lapse, and the unknown as twilight into day. The best of earth shall still remain, and heaven's eternal years shall prove that life and death and joy and pain are ministers of love. Chicago, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Man said at Vespers, all is well. And one wild night the city fell shrines of prayer and marts of gain before the fiery hurricane. On trees conspires at sunset shone, where ghastly sunrise looked on none. Men clasped each other's hands and said, the city of the west is dead. Brave hearts of fort and slow retreat, with fiends of fire from street to street, turned, powerless to the blinding glare, the dumb defiance of despair. A sudden impulse thrilled each wire, that signaled round that sea of fire. Swift words of cheer, warm heart throbs came, and tears of pity dyed the flame. From east, from west, from south and north, the message of hope shot forth, and underneath the severing wave, the world full-handed reached to save. Fair seemed the old, but fairer still the new. A daily void shall fill with dear homes when those overthrown, for love shall lay each cornerstone. Rise a striking city from through the ashen sackcloth of thy will, and bid as to Amphion strain to song of cheer thy walls again. How shriveled in the hot distress the primal sin of selfishness, how instant rose to take their part the angel in the human heart. And in vain the flames that host above the dreadful holocaust. The Christ again has preached through we the gospel of humanity. Then lift once more by towers on high, and fret with spires the western sky, to tell that God is yet with us, and love is still miraculous. Conduct, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Heed how thou livest, do not act by day, which from the night shall drive thy peace away. And months of sun shall live, and months of rain shall still be happy. Evermore restrain evil and cherish good, so shall vary another and a happier life for we. Conductor Bradley, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Conductor Bradley, always may his name be said with reverence, as the swift doom came smitten to death, a crushed and mangled frame, sank with a break, grasped just where he stood, to do the utmost that a brave man could, and die, if needful, as a true man should. Men stopped above, and women dropped their tears on the poor wreck beyond all hopes or fears, lost in the strength and glory of his years. What heard they, lo, the ghastly lips of pain, dared to all thought save duties, moved again, without the signals for the other train. No nobler utterance since the world began, from lips of saint and Mary ever ran, electric through the sympathies of man. Ah me, how poor and nodeless seemed to this the sick-bed dramas of self-consciousness, our sensual fears of pain and hopes of bliss, our grand supreme endeavour, not in vain that last brave act of failing tongue and brain, freighted with life a downward rushing train, following a wrecked one as wave follows wave, obeyed it the warning which a dead lips gave. Others he saved, himself he could not save. Neither lost life was saved, he is not dead, who in his record still the earth shall treat, with God's clear aureole shining round his head. We bow us in the dust of all our pride, of virtue dwarfed the noble deed beside. God give us grace to live as Bradley died. Divine Compassion, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Long since a dream of heaven I had, and still the vision haunts me oft. I see the saints in white robes clad, the Mayflowers with their palms aloft, but hearing still a middle song, with ceaseless dissonance of wrong, and shrinking with hid faces from the strain of sad, beseeching eyes full of remorse and pain. The glad song falters to a wail, the harping sings to low lament. Before the still unlifted wail I see the crowned foreheads bent, making more sweet the heavenly air, breathings of unselfish prayer, and a voice saith, up at high which is pain, or love that weeps fill up my sufferings which remain. Shall souls redeemed by my refuse to share my sorrow in their turn, or has sin forgiven my gift abuse of peace with selfish unconcern? Has saintly ease no bit high in care, has faith no work and love no prayer? While sin remains and souls in darkness dwell, can heaven itself be heaven and look unmoved on hell? Then through the gates of pain I dream, a wind of heaven blows coolly in. Faint every awful discord seem, the smoke of torment grows more thin. Tears quench the burning soil, and when spring sweet, pale flowers of penitence, and through the dreary realm of man's despair, star-crowned an angel walks, and to God's hope is where. Is it a dream? Is heaven so high but I cannot breathe its air? Its happy eyes forever dry, its holy lips without a prayer. My God, if I were lead by thy free grace unmerited, no crown nor palm be mine, but let me keep a heart that still can feel and eyes that still can weep. Flowers in Winter by John Greenleaf Whittier. How strange to greet this frosty morn in graceful counterfeit of flowers, these children of the meadows born of sunshine and of showers. How well the conscious wood retains the pictures of its flower's own home, the lights and shades, the purple stains and golden hues of bloom. It was a heavy thought to bring to the dark season's frost and rim this painted memory of spring, this dream of summertime. Our hearts are lighter for its sake, our fancy's age renews its youth, and dim remembered fictions take the guise of present truth. The wizard of the Merrimacs, the old ancestral legends say, could call green leaf and blossom back to frosted steam and spray. The dry logs of a cottage wall beneath his touch put out their leaves, the clay-bound swallow at his call played round the icy eaves. The settler saw his oaken flail take bud and bloom before his eyes. From frozen pools he saw the pale, sweet summer lilies rise. To the old homes by man profaned came the sad riots exiled long, and through the levied hunts complained of household use and wrong. The creeching platter sprouted wild, the pitkin wore its autumn green, a cradle o'er the sleeping child became a leafy screen. Haply our gentle friend hath meet while wandering in his sylvan quest, haunting his native woodlands yet, the druid of the west. And while the dew and leaf and flower glistened in moonlight clear and still, learned the dusk wizard spell of power and caught his trick of skill. But welcome, be it new or old, the gift which makes the day more bright, and paints upon the ground of cold and darkness warmth and light. The wold is neither gold nor green, within for birds the bird-larks sing, yet summer-like we sit between the autumn and the spring. The one with bridal blush of rose, and sweetest breath of woodland balm, and one whose matron lips are close, and smiles of saintly calm. Fill soft and deep, O winter snow, with sweet azaleas, oaken dales, and hide the bank where roses blow and swing the azure bells. Our lake the amber violets leaves, the purple asters brookside home. Guard all the flowers the pencil gives, a life beyond their bloom. And she, when spring comes round again, by greening slope and singing flood, shall wander, seeking not in vain her darlings of the wood. Forgiveness by John Greenleaf Whittier. My heart was heavy, for its trust had been abused, its kindness answered with full wrong. So, turning gloomily from a fellow man, one summer Sabbath day I strolled among the green mounds of a village burial place. There pondering how all human love and hate found one sad level, and how soon or late wronged and wrongdoer each with meek-knit face and cold hands folded over a still heart, past the green threshold of our common grave, whither all footsteps tend, whence none depart, aught for myself and betying my race, our common sorrow, like a mighty wave, swept all my pride away, and trembling I forgave. Garden by John Greenleaf Whittier. O painter of the fruits and flowers, we own wise design, where with human hands of ours may share work of wine. Apart from thee we plant and rain the root and sow the seed, by early and by late rain and by sun and dew we need. Our toil is sweet with thankfulness, our burden is our boon. The curse of earth's grey morning is the blessing of its noon. I search the wide world everywhere for Eden's unknown ground, that garden of a primal pair may never more be found. But blessed by thee our patient toil may right the ancient wrong, and give the ever climb and soil the beauty lost so long. Our homestead flowers and fruited trees may Eden's orchard shame, we taste the tempting sweets of these like Eve without her blame. And north and south and east and west, the pride of every zone, the fairest, rarest, and the best, may all be made our own. At earliest shrines the young world sought, in hill groves and in bowers, the fittest offerings thither brought were wine-owned fruits and flowers. And still with reverent hands we cull their gifts each year renewed. The good is always beautiful, the beautiful is good. Giving and Taking by John Greenleaf Whittier. Who gives and hides the giving hand, nor counts on favor, fame or praise, shall find the smallest gift outweighs the burden of a sea and land. Who gives to whom hath not been given, his gift is need, or small indeed, as in the grass-blade's wind-blown seed, as large as earth and rich as heaven. Forget it not, O man, to whom a gift shall fall, while yet on earth, yea, even to thy sevenfold birth, recall it in the lives to come. Who broods above a wrong and fault sins much, the greater sin is his, who, fed and clothed with kindness, shall count the holy alms as naught. Who dares to curse the hands that blessed shall know of sin their deadliest cost. The patience of the heavens is lost, beholding man's unthankfulness. For he who breaks all laws may still in Seram's mercy be forgiven, but none can save in earth or heaven the wretch who answers good with ill. Gone, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Another hand is beckoning us, another call is given, and glows once more with angel steps the path which reaches heaven. Our young and gentle friend, whose smile made brighter summer hours, mid the frosts of autumn time has left us with the flowers. No paling of a cheek of bloom forewarned us of decay, no shadow from the silent land fell round our sister's way. The light of her young life went down as sinks behind the hill, the glory of a setting star clears suddenly and still. As pure and sweet, her fair brown seemed, eternal as the sky, and like a brook's long song, her voice a sound which could not die. And half he deemed she needed not the changing of a sphere, to give to heaven a shining one, who walked an angel here. The blessing of a quiet life fell on us like the dew, and good thoughts where her footsteps pressed, like fairy blossoms grew. Sweet promptings unto kindness deeds were in her very look, we read her face as one who reads the true and holy book. The measure of a blessed hymn to which our hearts could move, the breathing of an inward psalm and canticle of love. We miscend the place of prayer, and by the half fire's light we pause beside the door to hear once more a sweet good night. There seems a shadow on the day, a smile no longer cheers, a dimness on the stars of night like eyes that look through tears. Alone unto our Father's will one thought hath reconciled, but he whose love exceedeth ours hath taken home his child. Fold her, O Father, in thine arms, and let her henceforth be a messenger of love between our human hearts and we. Still let her mild rebuking stand between us and the wrong, and her dear memory serve to make our fading goodness strong. And grant that she, who trembling here distrusted all her powers, may welcome to her holy home the well-beloved of ours. Greeting, by John Greenleaf Whittier. I spread a scanty board too late. The old-time guests for whom I wait came few and slow, methinks today. Ah, who could hear my messages across the dim unsounded seas on which so many have sailed away? Come then, old friends, who linger yet, and let us meet as we have met, once more beneath this low sunshine. And grateful for the good we've now in riddles solved, the ills outgrown, shake hands upon the border line. The favour asked too oft before from your indulgent ears once more I crave, and if belated lays to slower, feebler measures move the silent sympathy of love to me as dear now in praise. And ye, O younger friends, for whom hearth and heart keep open room, come smiling through the shadows long, be with me while the sun goes down, and with your cheerful voices drawn the minor of my evensong. For equal through the day and night, the wise eternal oversight, and love and power and righteous will remain. The law of destiny, the best for each and all must be, and life its promise shall fulfill. Hampton Beach, by John Greenleaf Whittier. The sunlight glitters keen and bright, where miles away lie stretched to my dazzled sight, a luminous belt, a misty light, beyond the dark pine bluffs and wastes of sandy grey. The tremulous shadow of a sea, against its ground of silvery light, rock, hill and tree, still as a picture, clear and free, the varying outline mark the coast for miles around. On we tread with loose-flung rein our seaward way, through dark green fields and blossoming grain, where the wild briar rose skirts the lane, and bends above our heads with flurrying locust spray. Ha! Like a kind hand on my brow comes this fresh breeze, cooling its dull and feverish glow, while through my being seems to flow the breath of a new life, the healing of the seas. No rest tree where this grassy mound his feet have set, and the great waters which have bound his granite ankles greenly round, with long and tangled moss and weeds of cool spray wet. Goodbye to pain and care. I take mine ease today, here where we sunny waters break and ripples with keen breeze. I shake all burdens from my heart, all weary thoughts away. I draw a freer breath. I seem, like all I see, waves in the sun, the white-winged gleam of seabirds in the slanting beam, and far-off sails which flit before the south wind free. So when time's veil shall fall asunder, the soul may know no fearful change, nor sudden wonder, nor single weight of mystery under, but with the upward rise and with the vastness grow. And all we shrink from now may seem no new revealing, familiar as our childhood's dream, our pleasant memory of a dream, the loved and cherished past upon the new life stealing. Serene and mild, the untried light may have its dawning, and, as in summer's northern night, the evening and the dawn unite, the sunset hues of time blend with the south's new morning. I sit alone in foam and spray, wave after wave breaks on the rocks, which stern and grey shoulder the broken tide away, or murmurs her race strong through mossy cleft and cave. What heed I of a dusty land and noisy town? I see the mighty deep expand from its wide line of glimmering sand to where the blue of heaven on bluer wave shuts down. Enlist this quiet youth of mind, I yield to all the change of cloud and wave and wind, and passive on the flood recline, I wonder waves and with them rise and fall. But look, thou dreamer, away from shore and shadow lie, the night wind warns me back once more to where my native hilltops o'er, it's like an arc of fire the glowing sunset sky. So when beach, bluff, and wave farewell, abide with me, no token stone or glittering shell, but long and oft from memory tell of a brief thoughtful hour of musing by the sea. Hazel Blossoms by John Greenleaf Whittier. The summer warmth has left the sky, the summer songs have died away, and withered in the footpaths lie the fallen leaves, but yesterday were radiant with topaz gay. The grass is browning on the hills, the pale belated flowers recall the astral fringes of rills, and rarely the dead vines fall, frost blackened from the roadside wall. Yet through the grey and sombre wood, against the dusk of fire and pine, last of their floral sisterhood, the hazel's yellow blossoms shine, the tawny gold of Africa's mine. Small beauty of my unsung flower, for spring to own or summer hail, but in the season's saddest hour, to skies that weep and winds that wail, its glad surprisals never fail. Or days grown cold, or life grown old, no rose of June may bloom again, but like the hazel's twisted gold, through early frost and later rain, shall hints of summer-time remain. And as within the hazel bore a gift of music virtue dwells, that points the golden oars below, and in dry desert places tells, where flown unseen the cool, sweet wells. So in a wise diviner's hand behind the hazel's grateful part, to feel beneath a thirsty land, the living waters thrill and start, the beating of a rivulet's heart. Suffices me the gift to light with latest bloom the dark, cold days, to call some hidden spring to sight, that in these dry and dusty ways shall sing its pleasant song of praise. Or love, the hazel wand may fail, thou canst lend the sure spell, that passing o'er Becca's vale repeats the all-time miracle, and makes the desert land a well. Help by John Greenleaf Whittier. Dream not, O soul, that easy is the task was set before me. If it proves at length, as well it may, beyond thy natural strength, faint not, despair not. As a child may ask a father, pray the everlasting good, for light and guidance midst the subtle snares of sin-thick blended in life's thoroughfares, for spiritual strength and moral hardihood, still listening through the noise of time and sense, to the still whisper of the inward word, bitter in blame, sweet in approval heard, itself its own confirming evidence, to health of soul a voice to cheer and please, to gild the wrath of evil meats. How the Robin Came by John Greenleaf Whittier. Happy young Francis sit by me under maze-bloom apple tree, while these homebirds in and out through the blossoms flit about, hear stories strange and old, where the wild red Indians told how the Robin came to be. Once a great chief left his son, well-beloved his only one, when the boy was well-nigh grown, in the trial lodge alone. Left for tortures long and slow, a youth like him must undergo, who the pride of manhood test, lacking water, food, and rest. 7 days the fast he kept, 7 nights he never slept. And the young boy, wrung with pain, weak from nature's overstrain, faltered, moaned a low complaint, "Spare me, father, for I faint." But the chieftain, haughty-eyed, hid his bitterness pride. "You shall be a hunter good, knowing never lack of food. You shall be a warrior great, wise as fox and strong as bear. Many scalps you bet you were, if with patient heart you wait bravely till your task is done. Better you should starving die, than that boy in scorn should cry, shame upon your father's son." The next morn the sun's first rays glistened on the hemlock sprays. Straight that lodge the old chief sought, and boiled same and moose meat brought. "Rise indeed, my son," he said, "lo, I found the poor boy dead." As if grief his grave were mad, and his bow beside him laid, pipe and knife and wampered bread on the lodge top overhead, preening smooth his breast of red, and the brown coat wet it wore, sat a bird unknown before. And as if with human hun, "Mourn me not," it said or sung, "I a bird am still your son, happier than if hunter fleet, or brave before your feet, laying scalps in battle won. Friend of man, my song shall cheer, lodge in cornland, hovering near, to each wigwam I shall bring tidings of a corning spring. Every child my voice shall know, and the moon of melting snow, with the maple's red bud swells, and the windflower lifts its bells, and the fond companion man shall henceforth own your son, and my song shall testify that of human kin am I." Thus the Indian legend saith, how at first a Robin came, with a sweeter life from death, bird for boy and still the same. If my young friends doubt that this is the Robin's genesis, not in vain is still the myth, if the truth be found wherewith unto gentleness belong, gives honor to pride and wrong. Happier far than hate is praise, he who sings than he who slays. Hymn of the Children by John Greenleaf Whittier. Thine are all the gifts, O God, thine the broken bread, let the naked feet be shod and the starving fed. Let thy children, by thy grace, give us they abound, till the poor have breathing space and the lost are found. Wiser than the miser's hoards is the giver's choice, sweeter than the song of birds is a thankful voice. Welcome smiles on faces sad as the flowers of spring, let their tender hearts be glad with the joy they bring. Happier for their pity's sake, make their sports in place, and from lips of childhood take thy perfect praise. I was a stranger and you took me in, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Neath skies where the winter never knew, the air was full of light and balm, and warm and soft were gulf and blue through orange bloom and groves of palm. A stranger from the frozen north, who sought a fount of health in vain, sank homeless on the alien earth and breathed the languid air with pain. God's angel came, the tender shade of pity made her blue eye dim. Against the woman's breast she laid the dropping, fainting head of him. She bore him to a pleasant room, flowers sweet and cool with salt sea air, and watched beside his bed, for whom his far off sisters might not care. She fanned his feverish brow and smoothed its lines of pain with tenderest touch. With holy hymn and prayer she soothed, and trembling soul that feared so much. For her the peace that passeth sight came to him, as he lapsed away as one whose troubled dreams of night slide slowly into tranquil days. The sweetness of the land of flowers upon his lonely grave she laid, the jasmine dropped its golden showers, the orange lent its bloom and shade, and something whispered in her thought, more sweet than mortal voices be. The service thou for him hast wrought, O daughter, hath been done for me. Immortal love, forever full, John Greenleaf Whittier. Immortal love, forever full, forever flowing free, forever shared, forever whole, and never ebbing sea. We may not climb the heavenly steps to bring the Lord Christ down, and when we search the low east deeps, for him no depths can drown. But warm, sweet, tender, even yet the present help us see, and faith is still its Olivet, and love its Galilee. The healing of a seamless dress, as per beds of pain, we touch him in life's throng and press, and we are whole again. O Lord and Master of us all, ere our name was thine, we own by sway, we hereby call, we test our lives by thine. In Peace, by John Greenleaf Whittier. A track of moonlight on a quiet lake, whose small waves on a silver-sanded shore whisper of peace, and with the low winds make such harmonies as keep the woods awake, and listening all night long for sweet sake. A green-waved slope of meadow hoovered o'er by angel troops of lilies, swaying alight on violet steams, the folded wings of white. A slumberous stretch of mountain land, far seen with a low westering day, with golden green, purple and amber, softly blended, fills the wooded vales and melts among the hills. A vine-fringed river winding to its rest on the calm bosom of a stormless sea, breathing alike upon its blessed breast, with earthly flowers and heavenly stars impressed, the hues of time and of eternity. Such are the pictures which a thought of thee, O friend, awakeneth, charming the keen pain of thy departure and our sense of loss, requiting with the fullness of our gain. Lo, in the quiet grave the life-born cross dropped only at its side, methinks doth shine of thy beatitude, thy radiant sign. No sob of grief, no wild lament beware, to break the Sabbath or the holy air, but in their stead the silent breathing prayer of hearts still waiting for rest like wine. Our spirit redeemed, forgive us if henceforth with sweet and pure similitudes of earth we keep thy pleasant memory freshly green, or love's inheritance the priceless part, which fancy's self in reverent awe is seen to paint, forgetful of the tricks of art, with pencil dipped alone in colours of a heart. In the evil days, by John Greenleaf Whittier. The evil days have come, the poor maid a prey, bar the hospitable table door, put out the firelights, point no more the wanderer's way. For the Tynow's crime, the chain which binds our states, is melted at a half a train, is rusted by a tear-soft rain. Close up her gates, our union like a glacier stirred by voice below, or bell of kine, or wing of bird, a beggar's crust, a kindly word, may overthrow. Poor whispering tremblers, yet we boast our blood and name. Bursting its century-boated frost, each grey cairn on the Northman's coast cries out for shame. Oh, for the open firmament, the Paris free, the desert hillside cavern rent, the Pawnee lodge, the Arab's tent, the bushman's tree, on whip of Persian loom most rare or soft divine, better rough rock, bleak and bare, or hollow tree, which man may share with suffering man. I hear a voice, but save the law, let love be dumb. Clasping her liberal hands in awe, let sweet-lipped charity withdraw from hearth and home. I hear another voice, the poor are vine to feed, turn not the outcast from my door, nor give the bonds and wrong once more whom God hath freed. Dear Lord, between with law and we no voice remains, yet not untrue to man's decree, for spurning its rewards is he who bears its pains. Not mine sedition, trumpet blast, and threatening word. I read the lesson of the past, with firm endurance wins at last more than the sword. How clear-eyed fate and patience vow, so calm and strong, lend strength to weakness, teach us how the sleepless eyes of God look through the night of wrong. Inscription on a Fountain by Greenleaf Whittier. Stranger and traveller, drink freely and bestow a kindly thought on her who bade his fountain flow, yet have no other claim than as the minister of blessing God's name. Drink, and in his peace go. Inscription to Milton by Greenleaf Whittier. The New World honors him whose lofty plea for England's freedom made her own more sure, whose song immortal as its theme shall be the common freehold while both worlds endure. Invocation by Greenleaf Whittier. Through wide clear spaces the Lord of old, formless and void, the dead have rode. Deaf to the heavens' sweet music, blind to the great lights which o'er it shined. No sound, no ray, no warmth, no breath, a dumb despair, a wandering death. To the dark weltering horror came thy spirit, like a subtle flame, a breath of life electrical, awakening and transforming all, till beat and thrilled in every part the pulsing of a living heart. Renew the bones, the land and sea, then smile the bloom of mead and tree, or flower to moth, from beast to man, the quick creative impulse run, and earth of life and re-renewed was in the holy eyesight good. As lost and void, as dark and cold, and formless as that earth of old, a wandering waste of storm and night, with spheres of song and realms of light, a blot upon the holy sky, untouched, unwanted we am I. O thou who movest on the deep of spirits, awake my own from sleep, its darkness melt, its coldness warm, the lost restore, veil, transform, that flower, fruit henceforth may be, its grateful offering worthy we. Italy by Greenleaf Whittier. Across the sea I heard the groans of nations in the interval of wind and wave. The blood and bones cried out in torture, crushing by thrones and sucked by priestly cannibals. I dreamed of freedom slowly gained in the fierce meekness, patience fade and low, and at lead grimly stained with cornered muscles, battle strained, shouting from the fields of death. I turned me awestruck from the sight, among the clamouring thousands mute. I only know that God is right, and the children of the light should treat the darkness underfoot. I know the pent fire, heaven's its crust, with sultry skies the bold the form to smite them clear. But nature must the balance of the powers adjust, well with the earthquake and the storm. God reigns, and let the earth rejoice. I bow before his sterner plan. Dumb are the origins of my voice. He speaks in battle's stormy voice, his praises in the wrath of man. Yet surely as he lives, the day of peace he promised shall be ours, to fold the flags of war, and lay its sword and spear to rest away, and sow its ghastly fields with flowers. Laying up treasure by Greenleaf Whittier. Before the end there comes, whose charioteer is swift as slow disease, lay up each year the harvests of well-doing, wealth that kings nor thieves can take away. When all the things for tallest vine, goods, pleasures, honours fall, thou thy virtue shalt survive them all. My Birthday by Greenleaf Whittier. Beneath the moonlight in the snow lies dead my latest year. The winter winds are wailed low, its dirges in my ear. I grieve not with the moaning wind, as if a loss befell. Before me, even as behind, God is and all is well. His light shines on me from above, his low voice speaks within, patience of immortal love outwearying mortal sin. Not mindless of the growing years of care and loss and pain, my eyes are wet with thankful tears for blessings which remain. If in the gold of life is crowned, I will not count its dross, nor turn from treasures still my own to sigh for lack and loss. The years no charm from nature take, as sweet her voices call, as beautiful her mornings break, as fair her evenings fall. Love watches all my quiet ways, kind voices speak my name, and lips that find it hard to praise are slow at least to blame. How softly ebb the tides of will, how fields once lost are won, now lie behind me green and still beneath the level sun. How hushed the hiss of party hate, the clamour of a throng, her old harsh voices of debate flown to a rhythmic song. Methinks the spirit's temper grows to soft in the still air. Somewhat the restful heart forgoes of needed watch and prayer. The bark by tempest vainly tossed may founder in the calm, and he who braved the polar frost faint by the ides of balm. Better than self-indulgent years, the outflung heart of youth, than pleasant songs and idle ears, the tumult of the truth. Rest for the weary hands is good, and laugh for hearts that pine, but let the manly habitude of upright souls be mine. Let winds that blow from heaven refresh, dear Lord, the languid air, and let the weakness of the flesh by strength of spirit share. And if the eye must fail of light, the ear forget to hear, make clear still the spirit's sight, more fine the inward ear. Be near me in mine hours of need, to soothe or cheer worn, and down the slopes of sunset lead, as up the hills of morn. My Dream, by John Greenleaf Whittier. In my dream methought I trod yesternight a mountain road, narrow as Elsirath's span, high as eagle's flight it ran. Overhead a roof of cloud with its weight of thunderbolt, underneath to left and right blankness and abysmal night. Here and where a wildflower blushed, now and when a bird's song gushed, now and when through rifts of shade stars shone out and sunbeams played. But the goodly company walking in that path of me, one by one were brink o'erslid, one by one were darkness hid. Some with wailing and lament, some with cheerful courage rent, but of all who smiled or mourned, never one to us returned. Anxiously with eye and ear, questioning that shadow drear, never hand in token stirred, never answering voice or heard. Steeper, darker, lower felt, for my feet the path they melt, swallowed by the black despair and the hungry jaws of air. Past the stony shrouded caves, strangled by the wash of waves, past the splintered cracks, I sank on a green and flowery bank. Soft as fawn of thistledown, lightly as a cloud is blown, soothingly as child at rest to the bosom of its rest. Of sharp-horned rocks instead, green the grassy meadows spread, bright with water singing by trees that prop the golden sky. Painted trustful, sorrow-free, old lost faces welcomed me, with whose sweetness of content still expectant hope was blent. Walking while the dawning grey slowly brightened into day, pondering at the vision fled, thus unto myself I said, steep and hung with clouds of strife is our narrow path of life, and our death that readeth fall through the dark awaiting all. South of painful steps we climb up the dizzy ways of time, ever in the shadow shed by the forecast of our dread. Dread of mystery soft alone, of the untried and unknown, yet the end thereof may seem like the falling of my dream. And this heart-consuming care, all our fears of here or where, change and absence, loss and death, prove what simple lack of fate. Thou were most compassionate, who did stoop to our estate, drinking up the cup we drained, treading in our path of wane. Through the doubt and mystery, grant to us by steps to see, and grace to draw from whence larger hope and confidence. Shall the vacant tomb, and let, as of old, the angels sit, whispering by its open door, fear not, he hath gone before. My Thanks, by John Greenleaf Whittier. 'Tis said that in the Holy Land the angels of a place have blessed the pilgrim's bed of desert sand, like Jacob's stone of rest. That down the hush of Syrian skies some sweet-voiced saint at twilight sings the song whose holy symphonies are beat by unseen wings. Till starting from a sandy bed, the wayworn wanderer looks to see the lure of an angel's head shine through a tamarisk tree. So through the shadows of my way thy smile hath fallen soft and clear, so at the very close of day hath seemed thy voice of cheer. That pilgrim pressing to its goal may pause not for the vision's sake, yet all the things within his soul, the thought of which shall wake. The graceful palm tree by the well seen on the far horizon's rim, the dark eyes of a fleet gazelle bent timidly on him. Each pictured a saint whose golden hair streams sunlight through the convent's gloom, pale shrines of Mephius young and fair in loving Mary's tomb. And thus each tender shade which falls from sunset cloud or waving tree along my pilgrim path records a pleasant thought of we. Of one in sun and shade the same, and real and will my steady friend, whatever by that holy name the angels comprehend. Not blind to faults and follies, thou hast never failed the good to see, nor judged by one unseemly bore the upward struggling tree. These light leaves at thy feet they lay, pour common thoughts on common things, which time is shaking, day by day, like fevers from his wings. Change shootings from a frail life-tree to maturing care but little known, where good was partly learned of thee, their folly is my own. The tree still clasps the kindly mould, its leaves still drink the twilight dew, and waving its pale green with gold still shines the sunlight through. There still the morning sapphires play, and there at times the springbird sings, and mossy trunk and fading spray are flowered with glossy wings. Yet even in gentle sun and rain, root, branch, and leaflet fail and fade, the wanderer on its lonely plain ere long shall miss its shade. Our friend beloved, whose curious skill keeps bright the last year's leaves and flowers, with warm glad summer thoughts to fill the cold dark winter hours. Pressed on the heart where leaves they bring, may well defy the wintry cold, until on heaven's eternal spring lies fair once unfold. My Trust, by John Greenleaf Whittier. A picture memory brings to me, I look across the years and see myself beside my mother's knee. I feel a gentle hand restrain my selfish moods, and know again a childish blind sense of wrong and pain. But wiser now, a man grey-grown, my childhood's needs are better known, my mother's chastening love her own. Grey-grown, but in our father's sight, a child still groping for the light, to read his works and ways aright. I wait in his good time to see, but as my mother dealt with me, so with his children dealeth he. I bore myself beneath his hand, that pain itself was wisely planned, I feel and partly understand. The joy that comes in sorrow's guise, the sweet pains of self-sacrifice, I would not have them otherwise. And what will life and death of sin knew not the treat rebuke within, the pang of merciful discipline. Not with thy proud despair of old, crowned stoic of Rome's noblest mode, pleasure and pain alike I hold. I suffer with no vain pretence of triumph our flesh and sense, yet trust the grievous providence. A dark survey it seems may tend, but ways I cannot comprehend, to some unguessed benignant end. At every loss on lapse may gain, the clear-eyed heights by steps of pain, and never cross is born in vain. Our State, by John Greenleaf Whittier. The Southland boasts its teeming cane, the prairie west its heavy grain, and sunset's radiant gates unfold on rising marts and sands of gold. A rough, bleak, and hard our little state is skinned of soil of limit strait. A yellow sands are sands alone, our only mines are ice and stone. From autumn frost to April rain, to longer winter woods complain. From budding flower to falling leaf, the summer time is all too brief. Yet on the rocks and on the sands, and wintry hills, the schoolhouse stands, and what a rugged soil denies, the harvest of a mind supplies. The riches of the commonwealth are free, strong minds and hearts of health, and more to her than gold or grain, the cunning hand and cultured brain. For while she keeps her ancient stock of the stubborn strength of Pilgrim Rock, and still maintains with martyr laws and clear light the good old cause, nor heeds the skeptic's puny hand, while near her school the church spire stands, nor fears the blinded bigots rule, while near her church spire stands the school. Red Riding Hood, by John Greenleaf Whittier. On the wide lawn the snow lay deep, rigid earth of many a drifted heap. The wind that through the pine trees sung, the naked elm boughs tossed and swung, while through the window, frosty stared, against the sunset purple bared, we saw the sombre crow flit by, the hawk's grey flag along the sky, the crested blue jay flitting swift, the squirrel posing on the drift, erect, alert, his broad grey tail set to the northward like a sail. It came to pass, our little lass, with flattened face against the glass, and eyes in which her tender youth, but high shun, stood gazing through the narrow space her rosy lips had melted from the frost's eclipse. "I see," she cried, "the poor blue jays. What is it that the black crow says? The squirrel lifts his little legs because he has no hands and bags. He's asking for my nuts. I know may I not feed them on the snow." Half lost within her boots, her head was sheltered in a hood of red, her plaid skirt close about her drawn, she floundered down the wintry lawn, now struggling through the misty veil, blown round by her the shrieking gale, now sinking in drifts so low, her scaggly hood could scarcely show its dash of colour on the snow. She dropped for bird and beast forlorn her little store of nuts and corn, and thus her timid guests bespoke. "Come, squirrel, from your holly oak, come, black old crow, come, poor blue jay, before your supper's blown away. Don't be afraid, we are all good, and I'm mamma's Red Riding Hood." O woe whose cares over all, who heedeth even the sparrow's fall, keep in the little maiden's breast the bit high which is now its guest. Let not her cultured years make less the childhood charm of tenderness, but let her feel as well as known, nor harder with a polished grow. Unmoved by sentiment grief, that waits along some printed leaf, but prompt with kindly word and deed to own the claims of all who need, let the grown woman's self make good the promise of Red Riding Hood. Remembrance, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Friend of mine, whose lot was cast with me in the distant past, where, like shadows flitting fast, fact and fancy, thought and theme, word and work begin to seem like a half-remembered dream. Touched by change have all things been, yet I think of thee as when we had speech of lip and pen, overcome by tenderness lent to a path of discontent, rough by trial and dissent. Gentle words where such were few, softening blame where blame was true, praising where small praise was due, for a waking dream made good, for an ideal understood, for thy Christian womanhood, for thy marvellous gift to cull from our common life and dull, whosoever is beautiful. Thoughts and fancies, hippolyte's beast, dropping sweetness, true heart's ease of congenial sympathies. Still for thee I own my debt, memory with her eyelids wet, fain would thank thee even yet. And as one who scatters flowers where the green of May sweet hours sits over twin with blossomed bowers, and superfluous seal bestowing gifts where gifts are overflowing, so I pay the debt I'm owing. To the full thoughts, gay or sad, sunny hued or sober clad, something of my own I add. Well assured what woe wilt take, even the offering which I make, kindly for the giver's sake. Response, by John Greenleaf Whittier. beside that milestone where the level sun, night unto setting, sheds his last loud rays on word and work irrevocable done, lies blending threads of good and ill outspun. I hear, O friends, your words of cheer and praise, half doubtful if myself or otherwise. Like him who in an old Arabian joke a beggar slept and crowned caliph woke. Thanks not the less, with not unglad surprise, I see my life work through your partial eyes, assured in giving to my harmful songs a higher value than of right belongs. You do but read between the written lines a finer grace of unfulfilled designs. Revelation by John Greenleaf Whittier. Still as of old, and beavers veil a man of God, our hope and fate, the elements and stars assail, and the old spirit holds its breath, blown over by a wind of death. Takes nature form for such as we, what place a human atom fills, a wheat drift of her colours see the mist on her unheeding hills? What reeks she of our helpless wills? Strange god of force, with fear not love, its trembling worshipper, can pray reach the shut ear of fate, or move unpitying energy to spare? What doubtful cosmic vastness care? And vain to this dread unconcern, for the All-Father's love we look, and vain in crest of it we turn the storied leaves of nature's book, the Prince rocky tablets took. I pray for fate, I long to trust, I listen with my heart and hear a voice without a sound. Be just, be true, be merciful, beware the world within thee, God is near. I light the sky and earth unknown, hails other lights, a mightier force and wears the powers of nature on, and to its goal, as at its source his spirit moves the universe. Believe and trust, through stars and suns, through life and death, through soul and sense, his wise paternal purpose runs. The darkness of his providence is startled with bending intents. Our joy supreme, I know the voice, like none beside on earth or sea. Yea more, O soul of mine, rejoice by all that he requires of me. I know what God himself must be. A picture to my aid I call, I shape no image in my prayer. I only know in him is all of life, light, beauty, everywhere eternal goodness, here and where. I know he is, and what he is, whose one great purpose is the good of all, and as my soul on his immortal love and fatherhood, I trust him as his children should. I fear no more. The clouded face of nature smiles, through all the things of time and space and sense, I trace the moving of a spirit's wings, and hear the song of hope she sings. Telling the Bees by John Greenleaf Whittier. Here's the place, right over the hill runs the path I took. You can see the gap in the old wall still, and the stepping stones in the shallow brook. There's the house with the gate red barrel, and the poplars tall, and the barn's brown length, and the cattle yard and white horns tossing above the wall. Where are the bee-heaths ranged in the sun, and down by the brink of the brook are her poor flowers, wheat overrun, pansy daffodil, rose and pink. A year has gone as the tortoise goes, heavy and slow, and the same rose blooms and the same sun glows, and the same brook sings of a year ago. Where's the same sweet clover smell in the breeze, and the June sun warm tangles the wings of fire in the trees, setting as when over Fernside farm. I mind me how with a lover's care from my Sunday coat I brushed off a burst and smoothed my hair, and cooled at the brookside my brown throat. Since we parted a month had passed, to laugh a year, down through the beaches I looked at last on a little red gate in the well sweep near. I can see it all now, the slender-eyes rain of light through the leaves, the sundown's blaze on the window pane, the bloom of the roses under the eaves. Just the same as a month before, the house and the trees, the barn's brown gable, the vine by the door, nothing changed but the heaps of bees. Before them, under the garden wall, forward and back, and drearily singing the call girl small, dripping each heath with a shred of black. Trembling I listened, the summer sun had the chill of snow, for I knew she was telling the bees of one, gone on the journey we all must go. Then I said to myself, my Mary weeps for the dead today. Hardly a blind old grandsire sleeps, the fret and the pain of his age away. But the dog went low on the doorway sill, with his cane to his chin. The old man sat, and the shore girl still sang to the bees stealing out and in. And the sound she was singing ever since in my ears sounds on. Stay at home, pretty bees, fly not hence, Mistress Mary is dead and gone. The Battle Autumn of 1862 by John Greenleaf Whittier. The flags have fallen like stormbirds fly, the charging trumpets blow, yet rolls no thunder in the sky, no earthquake strives below. And calm and patient nature keeps her ancient promise well, for o'er her bloom and green sweeps the battle's breath of hell. And still she walks in golden hours through harvest-happy farms, and still she wears the fruits and flowers like jewels on her arms. What mean the gladness of a plain, with joy of eve and morn, the mirth that shakes the bread of grain, and yellow looks of corn? Our eyes may well be full of tears, and hearts with hate are hot, but even paced come around the years, and nature changes not. She meets with smiles our bitter grief, with songs or groans of pain. She mocks with tint of flower and leaf the warfield's crimson stain. Still in the cannon's pause we hear a sweet thanksgiving psalm. Too near to God for doubt or fear, she shares the eternal calm. She knows the seed lies safe below, the fires of blast and burn. For all the tears of blood we sow, she waits on a rich return. She sees with clear eye and hours the good of suffering born, the hearts that blossom like our flowers and ripen like a corn. Oh, give to us in times like these the vision of her eyes, and make our fields and fruited trees our golden prophecies. Oh, give to us a finer ear above the stormy din. We too would hear the bells of cheer ring peace and freedom in. The Book by John Greenleaf Whittier. Gallery of sacred pictures manifold, a minister rich in holy effigies, and bearing on a tableau and frieze the hieroglyphic oracles of old. Along its transept aureole Mayflowers sit, and below chancels sidelights half acquaint, the ivy shrines of prophet, bard, and saint, the age-dim tablets traced in doubtful writ. But only when on form and word obscure falls from above a wide supernal light, we read the music characters aright, and life informs the silent portraiture until we pause at last awe-held before the one ineffable face, love, wonder, and adore. The Christmas of 1888 by John Greenleaf Whittier. Low in the east, against the white, cold dawn, the black linned silhouette of the woods was drawn, and on a wintry waste of frosted streams and hillside bare and brown, through thin cloud films, a pallid ghost looked down, the warning moon half-faced. And with pale sky and sea, snow-waiting earth, what sign was there of the immortal birth? What herald of the one? Lo swift as formed where heavenly radiance came, the rose-red splendor swept the sky like flame, uprode the round the bright sun, and all was changed. From a transfigured world the moon's ghost fled, the smoke of home hearts curled up the still air unblown. An orient warmth and brightness that would mourn our name in Nazareth, when the Christ was born, like fairer than our own. The morning's promise noon and eve fulfilled, in warm, soft sky and landscape hazy hilled, and sunset fair as way. A sweet reminder of his holiest time, a summer miracle in our winter clime, God gave a perfect day. The near was blended with the old and far, and Bethlehem's hillside and the Maggie's star seemed here, as where and when. Our home's deep pine tree was a Syrian palm, our heart's desire the angel's midnight psalm, peace and goodwill to man. The Clear Vision by John Greenleaf Whittier. I did but dream, I never knew what charms our sternest season wore. Was still, yet the sky so blue, was never earth so white before. Till now I never saw the glow of sunset on yon hills of snow, I never learned the bour's design of beauty in its leafless line. Never such a morning break as that my eastern windows see, never such a moonlight take weird photographs of shrub and tree. Ring at the bell so wild and fleet, the music of a winter street, was ever yet a sound by half so merry as your schoolboy's laugh. No worth of gladness overfraught, and no added charm by face I found. With my heart that changes wrought, my footsteps make enchanted ground. From couch of pain and curtained room, forth to where light and air I come, to find in all that meets my eyes the freshness of a glad surprise. Fair seem these winter days, and soon shall blow the warm west winds of spring, to set the unborn rills in tune, and hiver urge a bluebird's wing. Where vale shall laughing flowers, the woods grow misty green with leafing buds, and violets and windflowers sway against the throbbing heart of May. Break forth my lips in praise and own the wiser love severely kind, since which of all its chastening grown I see whereas I once was blind. The world, O Father, hath not wronged with loss for life by we prolonged, but still with every added year more beautiful thy works appear. As thou hast made the world without, make thou more fair my world within. Shine through its lingering clouds of doubt, rebuke its haunting shapes of sin. Fill brief or long my granted span of life with love to we and man. Strike when thou wilt be our rest, but let my last days be my best. The Common Question by John Greenleaf Whittier. Behind us at our evening meal the grey bird ate his fill, swung downward by a single claw and whipped his hooked bill. He shook his wings and crimson tail and set his head aslant, and in a sharp, impatient way asked, "What shall you want?" "Feast, silly bird," I answered. "Tuck your hair, bend off your wing, and go to sleep." But o'er and o'er he asked the self-same thing. When, smiling, to myself I said, "How like a man on birds! We all are saying what he says in action or in words." The boy with whip and top and drum, the girl with hop and doll, and man with lands and houses asked the question of poor Paul. However full with something more we fain the bag would cram, we sighed above our crowned nets for fish that never swam. No bounty of indulgent heaven the vague desire can stay, self-love is still a tartar mill for grinding prayers alway. Whittier God hears and pities all, he knoweth all our wants, and what we blindly ask of him his love affolds or grants, and so I sometimes think our prayers might well be merged in one, and nest and perch and half and church repeat, why will be done. The Cry of a Lost Soul by John Greenleaf Whittier. In that black forest, where when day is done, white as snake stillness glides the Amazon, darkly from sunset to the rising sun, a cry as of a painted heart of the wood, the long despairing moon of solitude and darkness and the absence of all good, startles the traveller with a sound so drear, so full of hopeless agony and fear, his heart stands still and listens like his ear. The guide, as if he heard the dead bell toll, starts, drops his oar against the gunwale's toll, crosses himself and whispers, a lost soul. No seer, not a bird, I know it well. It is the painted soul of some infidel or cursed heretic that cries from hell. Poor fool, with hope still mocking his despair he wanders, shrieking on the midnight air for human pity and for Christian prayer. Saints strike him dumb, our holy mother hath no prayer for him who, sinning unto death, burns always in the furnace of God's wrath. Thus to the baptized pagan's cruel lie, lending new horror to that mournful cry, the voyager listens, making no reply. Dim burns the boat lamp, shadows deep marooned, from giant trees of snake-like creepers wound, and the black water glides without a sound. But in the traveller's heart a secret sense of nature plastic to benign intents, and an eternal good and providence, lifts to the starry calm of heaven his eyes, and lo, rebuking all earth's ominous cries, the cross of pardon lights the tropic skies. Father of all, he urges a strong plea, or lovest all, bearing child may be lost to himself, but never lost to we. All souls are wine, the wings of morning beer, none from that presence which is everywhere, nor hell itself can hide, for thou art where. Through sins of sense, perversities of will, through doubt and pain, through guilt and shame and ill, the pitying eye is on thy creature still. Wilt thou not make eternal scorn and goal, in thy long life life's broken circle whole, and change to praise the cry of a lost soul? The First Flowers by John Greenleaf Whittier. For ages on our river borders, these tassels in their tawny bloom, and willowy studs of downy silver, have prophesied of spring to come. For ages have the unbound waters smiled on them from their pebbly hem, and the clear carol of a robin and song of bluebird welcomed them. But never yet from smiling river or song of early bird have they been greeted with a gladder welcome that whispers from a heart today. We break the spell of cold and darkness, the very watch of sleepless pain, and from my heart as from the river the ice of winter melts again. Thanks, Mary, for this wildwood token of Freya's footsteps drawing near, almost as in a rune of Asgard the growing of a grass I hear. It is as if the pine trees called me from ceiling room and silent books to see the dance of woodland shadows and hear the song of April brooks. As in the old Teutonic ballad of Odin ward, life bird and tree, together life and bloom and music I blend in song by flowers and we. Earth's rocky tables bear forever the dint of rain and small birds' track. Who knows but that my idle verses may leave some trace by Merrimack? The bird that trod the mellow layers of a young earth is sought in vain. The clod is gone that wove his hands down from God's design with threads of rain. So when this fluid age we live in shall stiffen round my careless rhyme, who made the vagrant tracks may puzzle the heavens of a coming time, and following out the dim suggestions, some idle curious hand may draw my doubtful portraiture as quiver to frigid bird from fin and claw. And maidens in the far-off twilights, singing my words to breeze and stream, shall wonder if the old Tamel were real or the rhymer's dream. The Frost Spirit by John Greenleaf Whittier. He comes, the frost spirit comes. You may trace his footsteps now on the naked woods and the blasted fields and brown hills thither brow. He has smitten the leaves of the grey old trees, where the pleasant green came forth, and the winds which follow wherever he goes have shaken them down to earth. Comes, the frost spirit comes, the frozen Labrador from the icy bridge of the northern seas, with the white, be wondrous o'er where the fisherman's sail is stiff with ice, and the luckless fawns below in the sunset cold of the lingering night into marble statues grow. He comes, the frost spirit comes on a rushing northern blast, and the dark Norwegian pines have bowed as his fearful breath went past. With an unscorched wing he has hurried on, to the fires of Hecla glow in the darkly beautiful sky above, and the ancient ice below. He comes, the frost spirit comes, and the quiet lake shall feel the torpid touch of his glazing breath, and ring to the skater's heel. And the streams which danced on the broken rocks, or sang to the leaning grass, shall bow again to the winter chained in mournful silence pass. He comes, the frost spirit comes. Let us meet him as you may, and turn with the light of a parlor fire his evil power away. Gather closer the circle round, and at firelight dances high, and laugh at the shriek of the baffled fiend as the sounding wind goes by. The Fruit Gift by John Greenleaf Whittier. Last night, just as the tints of autumn skies of sunset faded from our hills and streams, I sat awake listening and leapt in twilight dreams to the leaves rustle and the crickets cry. When, like that basket flush of summer fruit dropped by the angels of a prophet's foot, came unannounced a gift of clustered sweetness, full-orbed and glowing with the prisoned beams of summery suns, and rounded to completeness by kisses of the south wind and the dew. Thrilled with glad surprise, methought I knew the pleasure of a homeward turning Jew, when Ashcot clusters on his shoulders lay, dropping with sweetness on his desert way. I said, this fruit beseems no word of sin, its parent wine rooted in paradise. Our crept the wall and never paid the price of a great mischief, an ambrosial tree, eats exotic, somehow smuggling in to keep the thorns and thistles company. Perchance our frail said mother plucked in haste a single vine-slip as she passed the gate, where the dread sword alternate paled and burned, and the stern angel, pitying her fate, forgave the lovely trespasser, and turned aside his face of fire, and thus the waste and fallen world have yet its annual taste of primal good, the proof of sin the cost, and shall by one gleaned ear the mighty harvest lost. The Hive at Gettysburg by John Greenleaf Whittier. In the old Hebrew myth, the lion's frame so terrible alive, bleached by the desert sun and wind, became the wandering wild beast's hive, and the hero alone and naked-handed tore those jaws of death apart, and after time drew forth their hornate store to strengthen a strong heart. They had seemed the legend, but had only slept to wake beneath our sky, just on the spot whence the raving treason crept back to its lair to die, bleeding and torn from freedom's mountain bounds. A stained and shattered drum is now the hive where, on the flowery rounds, the wild bees go and come. Unchallenged by a ghostly sentinel, we wander wide and far along green hillsides, zoned with shot and shell, for wails once choked the war. The louver wail of a battle drum disturbs no morning prayer, with deeper peace in summer noons where hum fills all the drowsy air. And Samson's riddle is our own today, of sweetness from the strong, of union peace and freedom plucked away from the rent jaws of wrong. From treason's death we draw pure life, as from the beast he slew, and sweetness sweeter for his bitter strife the old-time athlet drew. The Lakeside by John Greenleaf Whittier. The shadows around the inland sea are deepening into night. Slow up the slopes of Ossipee they chase the lessening light. Tired of the long day's blinding heat, they rest my languid eye, lake of the hills, where cool and sweet white sunset waters lie. Along the sky in wavy lines, our isles and reach and bay, green belted with eternal pines, mountains stretch away. Below the maple masses sleep, their shore of water blends, while midway on the tranquil deep the evening light descants. So seemed it when the hills red crown of old the Indian trod, and through the sunset air looked down upon the smile of God. To him of light and shade the laws, nor forest skeptic taught, their living and eternal causes truer instinct sought. He saw these mountains in the light, which now across them shines, with lake and summer sunset bright, walled round with sombering pines. God near him seemed, from earth and skies his loving voice he beard, as face to face in paradise man stood before the Lord. Thanks, O our Father, that like him by tender love I see, in radiant hill and woodland dim, and tinted sunset sea. For not in mockery dost fulfill our earth with light and grace, thou hidst no dark and cruel will behind thy smiling face. The Last Eve of Summer by John Greenleaf Whittier. Summer's last sunlight unto setting shines through yon columnar pines, and on the deepening shadows of the lawn its golden lines are drawn. Dreaming of long ago, summer days like this, feeling the wind's soft kiss, grateful and glad that failing ear and sight have still their all to delight. I sit alone and watch the warm, sweet day lapse tenderly away, and wistful with a feeling of forecast I ask, is this the last? Will never more for me the seasons run round, and will the sun of ardent summers yet to come forget for me to rise and set? Thou shouldst be here, or I should be with thee, wherever thou mayst be, lips mute, hands clasped in silence of speech, each answering unto each. For this still hour, with sense of mystery far beyond the evening star, no words outworn suffice on lip or scroll, the soul would fain with soul. Wait, while these few swift passing days fulfill the wise disposing will, and in the evening, as at morning, trust thee all merciful and just. The solemn joy that soul communion feels, immortal life reveals, and human love its prophecy and sign interprets love divine. Come then in thought, if it alone may be, O friend, and bring with thee that calm assurance of transcendent spheres and the eternal years. The Library by John Greenleaf Whittier. Let there be light, God spake of old, and over chaos dark and cold, and through the dead formless frame of nature, life and order came. Faint was the light at first, when shone on giant fern and mastodon, on half-formed plant and beast of prey, and man as rude and wild as we. Age after age, like waves, are air on the earth, uplifting root and man, and mind at length in symbols dark, its meanings traced on stone and bark. On leaf of palm, on sedge-wort roll, on plastic clay and leaf and scroll, man wrote his thoughts, the ages passed, and to the press was found at last. When dead souls woke, the thoughts of men whose bones were dust revived again, the cloister's silence found it hung, or prophet spake, or poet sang. And here today the dead look down, the kings of mind again recrowned. We hear the voices are lost so long, the sage word, the Sibyl's song. Here Greek and Roman find themselves alive along these crowded shelves, and Shakespeare treats again his stage, and Chaucer paints a newest age. As if some Pantheon's marbles broke their stony trance, and lived and spoke, life thrills along the alcoved hall, the lords of Ford await our call. The light that is felt by John Greenleaf Whittier, a tender child of summers free, seeking a little bed at night, paused on the dark stair timidly. "Mother, take my hand," said she, "and then the dark will all be light." We older children grope our way from dark behind the dark before, and only when our hands we lay, dear Lord, and wine the night is day, and there's darkness nevermore. Reach downward to the sunless days, wherein our guides are blind as we, and fate is small and hope delays. Take forth the hands of prayer we raise, and let us feel the light of we. The Mayflowers, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Sad Mayflower, watched by winter stars and nursed by winter gales, with petals of isolated spears and leaves of frozen sails. What had she in those dreary hours within her ice-bound bay, and crowned with the wildwood flowers the first sweet smiles of May? Yet the God he praised, the pilgrim said, who saw the blossoms peer above the brown leaves, dry dead, behold our Mayflower here. God wills it, here our rest should be, or years of wandering o'er, fast the Mayflower of the sea should spread her sails no more. Our sacred flowers of faith and hope, as sweetly now as when, you bloom on many a birchen slope, and many a pine-dark glen. Behind the seaward's rugged length, unchanged your leaves unfold, like some behind the manly strength of the brave hearts of old. So live the fathers and their sons, their sturdy fate be ours, and ours the love that outruns and rocky strength of flowers. The pilgrim's wide and wintry day its shadow round us draws, the Mayflower of a stormy bay, our freedom's struggling cause. But warmer suns along shall bring to life a frozen sod, and through their leaves of hope shall spring afresh the flowers of God. The Memory of Burns, by John Greenleaf Whittier. How sweetly come the holy psalms from saints and Mayflowers down, the waving of triumphal palms above a thorny crown, the carol praise, the chanted prayers from harps by angels strung, the 100 Cameron's mountain airs, the hymns that Luther sang. Yet during not the heavenly notes, the sounds of earth are heard, as through the open minster floats the song of breeze and bird, not less a wonder of the sky that daisies bloom below. The brook sings on, though loud and high the cloudy organs blow. And if the tender ear be jarred, that harpily hears by turns the saintly harp of Olney's bard, pastoral pipe of Burns, and the discord master's perfect plan who gave them both a tongue, for he who sings the love of man, the love of God hath sung. Today be ever fault forgiven of him in whom we joy, we take the thanks of good of heaven, and leave the earth's alloy. We ouse his music as of spring, his sweetness as of flowers, the songs the bard himself might sing in holier ears than ours. Sweet airs of love and home, the hum of household melodies, come singing, as the robins came to sing in Georgia trees. And heart to nations alien, no rival refs to trine, by blending in eternal green the holy and the pine. The Palm Tree, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Is it the palm, the cocoa palm on the Indian Sea by the Isles of Balm, or is it a ship in the breezeless calm? A ship whose keel is of palm benneth, whose ribs of palm have a palm-bark sheet, and rudder of palm it steereth with. Branches of palm are its spars and rails, fibres of palm are its woven sails, and the rope is of palm that idle trails. What does the good ship bear so well? The coconut with its stony shell, and the milky sap of its inner cell? What are its draughts so smooth and fine, but hollowed nuts filled with oil and wine, and the cabbage that ripens under the line? Who smokes his nargile, cool and calm, the master whose cunning and skill could charm cargo and ship from the boat in his palm. In the cabin he sits on a palm mat soft, from a beak of palm his drink is quaffed, and a palm fetch shields from the sun aloft. His dress is woven of palmy strands, and he holds a palm leaf scroll in his hands, traced with a prophet's wise commands. The turban folded about his head was daintily wrought of a palm leaf braid. The fan with cool hem of palm was made. Of trees of palm was a carpet spun, where only kneels when the day is done. The fort of Islam about is one. To him the palm is a gift divine, wherein all use of man combine, house and raiment and food and wine. In the hour of his great release, his need of a palm shall only chase, with a shroud wherein the life in peace. Allah, 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 he sings his psalm on the Indian Sea by the Isles of Balm. Thanks to Allah who gives the palm. The Peace Autumn by John Greenleaf Whittier. Thank God for rest, where none molest that none can make afraid, for peace that sits as plenty's guest beneath a homestead shade. Bring pike and gun, with swords that scourge the broken chains, and beat them at the blacksmith's fork, the plowshares for our plains. Alike henceforth our hills of snow and vales where cotton flowers, all streams that flow, all winds that blow, are freedom's motive powers. Henceforth to labor's chivalry be nightly honours paid, for nobler when the sword shall be the sickle's accolade. Build up an altar for the Lord, O grateful hearts of ours, and shape it of the greenest swords that ever drank the showers. Lay all the bloom of gardens there, and wear the orchard fruits. Bring golden grain through sun and air, from earth her goodly roots. There let our banners drop and flow, the stars uprise and fall. Our roll of Mayflowers sad and slow, its sighing breezes call. Their names that hands of horn and tan, and rough-shod feet applaud, who died to make the slave a man, and length of toil reward. Where let the common heart keep time to such an anthem sung, as never swelled on poet's rhyme, or thrilled on singer's tongue. Song of our burden and relief, of peace and long annoy, the passion of our mighty grief and our exceeding joy. A song of praise to him who filled the harvest sown in years, and gave each field a double yield to feed our battle years. A song of fate that trusts the end to match the good begun, no doubt the power of love to blend the hearts of men as one. The Peace of Europe by John Greenleaf Whittier. Great peace in Europe, order reigns from Tiber's hills to Danbu's plains. So say kings and priests, so say the lying prophets of our day. Go lay to earth a listening ear, the tramp of measured marches hear, the rolling of a cannon's wheel, the shotted musket's murderous peal, the night alarm, the sentry's call, the quick earth spine heart and hall. From polar sea and tropic fen, the dying groans of exiled man, the boat itself, the galley's chains, the scaffold smoking with its stains. Order of hush of brooding slaves, peace in the dungeon wards and graves, or fisher of a worldwide net, with meshes in our water set, whose fabled keys of heaven and hell bolt hard the patriot's prison cell, and open wide the banquet hall where kings and priests hold carnival. Weak vessel, tricked in royal guise, boy Kaiser with a lip of lies, base gambler for Napoleon's crown, barnacle on the stead renown, Bourbon Neapolitan crowned scandal, loved of God and man, and woe-felt spider of the north, stretching the giant feelers forth, within whose web the freedom dies of nations eating up like flies. Speak, prince and Kaiser, priest, Tsar, if this be peace, pray what is war? White angel of the Lord, unmeet, but soft accursed for thy pure feet. Never in slavery's desert flows the fountain of thy charmed repose. Now turns hand thy chaplet wreaths of lilies and of olive leaves. Not with the wicked child of our rebel, thus save the eternal oracle. Thy home is with the pure and free. Stern herald of thy better day before thee to prepare thy way, the Baptist shade of liberty, grey, scared and hairy robed, must press with bleeding feet the wilderness. And with its voice might pierce the ear of princes, trembling while they hear cries of a Hebrew seer. Repent, God's kingdom draweth near. The Pine Tree by John Greenleaf Whittier. Lift again the stately emblem on the Bay State's rusted shield. Give to northern winds the pine tree on our banner's tattered field. Sons of men who sat in council with their Bibles around the board, answering England's royal missive with a firm, "Thus saith the Lord." Rise again for home and freedom, set the battle in array. What the fathers did of old time, we the sons must do today. Tell us not of banks and tariffs, cheese your paltry peddler cries. Shall the good state sink or honor that your gambling stocks may rise? Would ye barter man for cotton? Would your gains may sum up higher? Must ye kiss the feet of Moloch, pass our children through the fire? Is the dollar only real? God in truth and right a dream? Weighed against your lying ledgers, must our manhood kick the beam? O my God! For that free spirit, which of old in Boston town smote the Providence hound of terror, struck the crest of Andrews down. For never strong-voiced Adams in the city streets to cry, "Up for God in Massachusetts, let your feet on mammons lie. Parish banks and parish traffic, spin your cotton's latest pound. But in heaven's name keep your honor, keep the heart of the Bay State sound." Where's the man for Massachusetts? Where's the voice to speak her free? Where's the hand to light the bonfires from the mountains to the sea? Beats the pilgrim pulse no longer? Sits she dumb in her despair? Has she none to break the silence? Has she none to do and dare? Ah, my God, for one right worthy to lift up a rusted shield, and to plain again the pine tree in the banner's tattered field. The Problem by John Greenleaf Whittier. Not without envy wealth at times must look on the brown strength who wield the reaping hook, and skiff at the fork fire shape the plough or the steel harness of the steeds of steam. All who by skill and patience anyhow make service noble and the earth redeem from savageness, be kindly accolade than theirs was never worthier knighthood made. Well for them, if, while demagogues were vain and evil counsels proffer, they maintain the honest manhood unseduced, and wake no war with labour's right to labour's gain, or sweet home comfort, rest of hand and brain, and softer pillow for the head of age. And well for gain, if it ungrudging yields labour its just deemed, and well for ease, if in the use of its own it sees no wrong to him who tills its pleasant fields, and spreads the table of its luxuries. The interests of the rich man and the poor are one and same, inseparable evermore, and when scant wage or labour fail to give food, shelter, raiment, wherewithal to live, need has its rights, necessity its claim. Yea, even self-wrought misery and shame test well the charity suffering long and kind. The home-pressed question of the age can find no answer in the catchwords of the blind leaders of blind. Solution there is none, save in the golden rule of Christ alone. The Proclamation by John Greenleaf Whittier. St. Patrick, slave to milk off the herds of Ballymena, wakened with these words, arise and flee out from the land of bondage and be free. Glad is the soul in pain who hears from heaven the angels singing of his sins forgiven, and wandering sees his prison opening to the golden keys. He rose the man who laid him down a slave, shook from his looks the ashes of the grave, and outward trod into the glorious liberty of God. He cast the symbols of his shame away, and passing where the sleeping Malcolm or back and lime smarted with wrong, he prayed God pardon him. So went he forth, but in God's time he came to light on Ulini's hills a holy flame, and dying it gave the land a saint, but lost him as a slave. Now dark sad millions, patiently and dumb waiting for God, the hour at last has come, and freedom's song breaks the long silence of a night of wrong. Arise and flee, shake off a wild restraint of ages, but like Ballymena's saint the oppressor spare, heap only on his head the coals of prayer. Go forth like him return again, to bless the land whereon in bitter pain ye toiled at first, and heal with freedom what your slavery cursed. The Reward by John Greenleaf Whittier. Who looking backward from his manhood's prime, sees not the spectre of his misspent time, and through the shade of funerals oppress, planted thick behind, hears no reproachful whisper on the wind from his loved dead, or bears no trace of passion's evil force, who shuns thy sting or terrible remorse. Who does not cast in the thronged pages of his memory's book at times a sad and half-reluctant look, regretful of past? Alas, the evil which we fain would shun we do, and leave a wished-for good undone. Our strength today is but tomorrow's weakness, prone to fall. Poor, blind, unprofitable servants all are we alway. Yet who was looking backward our years feels not his eyelids wet with grateful tears, if he have been permitted, weak and sinful as he was, to cheer and aid in some ennobling cause his fellow man. If he have hidden the outcast, or let in a ray of sunshine to the cell of sin, if he have lent strength to the weak, and in an hour of need over the suffering, mindless of his creed or home half bent, he has not lived in vain, and widely gives the praise to him in whom he moves and lives with thankful heart. He gazes backward and without before, knowing that from his works we never more can henceforth part. The River Path by John Greenleaf Whittier. No birdsong floated down the hill, the tangled bank below was still, no rustle from the birchen stream, no ripple from the water's hem. The dusk of twilight round us drew, we felt the falling of the dew. Far from us, ere the day was done, the wooded hills shut out the sun. But on the river's farther side we saw the hilltops glorified, a tender glow, exceeding fair, a dream of day without its glare. With us the damp, the chill, the gloom, with them the sunset's rosy bloom. While dark through willowy vistas seen, the river rolled in shade between. Toward the darkness where we trod, we gazed upon those hills of God, whose light seemed not of moon or sun. We spake not, but our thought was one. We paused, as if from that bright shore beckoned our dear ones gone before, and stilled our beating hearts to hear the voices lost to mortal ear. Sudden our path had turned from night, the hills swung open to the light. Through our green gates the sunshine showed a long, splendid splendor downward flowed. down glade and glen and bank and road, it bridged the shaded stream with gold, and borne on piers of mist, and lie at the shadowy with the sunlit side. So prayed we when our feet draw near the river dark with mortal fear, and the night come with chill of dew, O Father, let the light break through, so let the hills of doubt divide, so bright the fade the sunless tide, so let the eyes that fail on earth on thy eternal hills look forth, and in thy beckoning angels know the dear ones whom we love below. The Robin by John Greenleaf Whittier. My old Welsh neighbour over the way crept slowly out in the sun of spring, pushed from my ears the looks of grey, and listened to hear the robins sing. A grandson playing at marbles stopped, and cruel in sport as boys will be, tossed a stone at the bird, who hopped from bough to bough in the apple tree. Nice, said the grandmother, have you not heard my poor bad boy of a fiery bed, and how drop by drop this merciful bird carries the water that quencheth it? He brings cool dew in his little bill, and lets it fall on the sounds of sin. You can see the mark on his red breast still, and feels its scourge as he drops it in. My poor born Rudden, my breast-burnt bird, singing so sweetly from limb to limb, very dear to the heart of our Lord, is he who betides the lost like him. Amen, I said to the beautiful myth, sing bird of God in my heart as well. Each good thought is a drop wherewith to cool and lessen the fires of hell. Prayers of love like raindrops fall, tears of Bethia cooling dew, and dear to the heart of our Lord are we, who suffer like him in the good they do. The Shipbuilders by John Greenleaf Whittier. The sky's ruddy in the east, the earth is grey below, and spectral in the river mist the ship's white timbers show. Then let the sound of measured stroke and grating saw begin, the broad axe and the gnarled oak, the mallet to the pin. Hark across the bellows, blast on blast, with sooty smith's jars, and fire sparks rising far and faster, fading with the stars. All day for us the smith shall stand beside with flashing fork, all day for us his heavy hand the groaning anvil scorch. For far off hills the panting team for us is toiling near, for us the raftsman down the stream where islands barked steel. Rings out for us the axeman's stroke and forest old and still, for us the century-circled oak falls crashing down his hill. Up in nobler toil than ours the craftsmen bear apart, we make of nature's giant powers the slaves of human art. Lay rib to rib and beam to beam and drive the tree nails free. No fadeless join, no yawning seam shall tempt the surging sea. Ere the keel of our good ship the sea's rough field shall plough, ere her tossing spars shall drip with Salisbury caught below, that ship must heed her master's back, her helm obey his hand, and seamen tread her reeling deck as if they trod the land. Her oaken ribs the vulture beak of northern ice may peel, the sunken rock and cowl peak may grate along her keel, and know we well the painted shell we give to wind and wave must float the sailor's citadel or sink the sailor's grave. Ho! Strike away the bars and blocks and set the good ship free, while linger on these dusty rocks the young bride of the sea. Look how she moves down the grooves in graceful beauty now. How lowly on the breast she laughs sinks down her virgin prow. God bless her! Wheresoever the breeze her snowy wings shall fan, aside the frozen they breeds of sultry Hindustan. Where in mud or on the main, with peaceful flag unfurled, she helps to wind the silken chain of commerce around the world. Speed on the ship, but leave her beer no merchandise of sin, no groaning cargo of despair, a roomy hold within. No leafing rug for eastern lands, for poisoned drought for ours, but honest fruits of toiling hands and nature's sun and showers. We husk the prairie's golden grain, the desert's golden sand, the glassed fruits of sunny Spain with the spice of morning land. Her pathway on the open main may blessings full of free, and lads' hearts welcome back again her white sails from the sea. The Three Bells by John Greenleaf Whittier. Beneath a low-hung night cloud that wrecked his splintering mast, the good ship settled slowly, the cruelly gained fast. Of the awful ocean the signal guns pealed out. Dear God, was with my answer from the horror around the boat. A voice came down the white wind. Ho ship ahoy! Its cry, our stout Three Bells of Glasgow shall lay till daylight by. Hour after hour crept slowly, yet on the heaving swells, tossed up and down the ship lights, the lights of the Three Bells. And ship to ship made signals, man answered back to man, while oft to cheer and hearten the Three Bells near ran. And the captain from a taffrail sent down his hopeful cry. Take heart, hold on, he shouted, the Three Bells shall lay by. All night across the waters the tossing light shone clear, all night from reeling Teldrith the Three Bells sent a cheer. And when the dreary watches of storm and darkness passed, just as the wreck lurched under, all souls were saved at last. Sail on, Three Bells, forever, in grateful memory sail. Ring on, Three Bells of rescue above wave and gale. Type of the love eternal, repeat the Master's cry, as tossing through our darkness the lights of God drew nigh. The Two Angels by John Greenleaf Whittier. God called the nearest angel who dwelled with him above. The tenderest one was pity, the dearest one was love. Arise, he said, my angels, a veil of woe and sin steals through the gates of heaven and saddens all within. My harps take up the mournful strain that from a lost world swells, the smoke of torment clouds, the light and blights fierce folds. Fly downward toward underworld, and on its soul of pain let love drop smiles like sunshine and high tears like rain. Two faces bowed before the throne, veiled in the golden hair. Four white wings lessened swiftly down the dark abyss of air. The way was strange, the flight was long, and last the angels came, for swung the lost and neither world, red-wrapped in rayless flame. The pit high shuddering wept, but love of fate, too strong for fear, took heart from God's almightiness and smiled a smile of cheer. I low the tear of pit high quenched the flame whereon it fell, and with the sunshine of its smile, hope entered into hell. Two unveiled faces full of joy looked upward to the throne, four white wings folded at the feet of him who sat thereon, and deeper than the sound of seas, more soft than falling flake, amidst the hush of ringing song the voice eternal spake. Welcome, my angels, ye have brought a holier joy to heaven, henceforth its sweetest song shall be the song of sin forgiven. The Two Laughs, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Smoothing soft the nestling head of a maiden fancy lad, was the grey-eyed woman said. Richest gifts are those we make, dearer than the love we take, that we give for love's own sake. When in our heart's unrest, mine has been the common quest, to be loved and wherefore blessed. Favours undeserved were mine, at my feet is on a shrine, love has laid its gifts divine. Sweet the offerings seemed, and yet with their sweetness came regret, and a sense of unpaid debt. Heart of mine unsatisfied, was it vanity or pride, that a deeper joy denied? Hands that ope but to receive, empty close, we only live richly who can richly give. Still she sighed with moistening eyes, love sweet in any guise, but its best is sacrifice. He who, giving, does not crave, likest is to him who gave, life itself a love to save. Love that self-forgetful gives, those surprise of ripened sheaves, later soon its own receives. The Waiting, by John Greenleaf Whittier. I wait and watch. Before my eyes methinks the night grows thin and grey. I wait and watch the eastern skies, to see the golden spheres uprise beneath the hoary flame of day. Like one whose limbs are bound in trance, I hear the day sound swell and grow, and see across the twilight glance, troop after troop in swift advance, the shining ones with plums of snow. I know the errand of their feet, I know what mighty work is theirs. I can but lift up hands and meet the threshing floors of God to beat, and speed them with unworthy prayers. I will not dream in vain despair, the steps of progress wait for me, the piney leverage of a hair, the planet's impulse where me spare, a drop of dew, the tide at sea. The loss, if loss there be, is mine, and yet not mine if understood. For one should grasp and one resign, one drink life's rue, and one its wine, and God shall make the balance good. Our power to do, or baffled will, our prayer and action, ye are one, who may not strive, may yet fulfill the harder task of standing still, and good but wished of God is done. The Wind of March, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Up from the sea the wild north wind is blowing in the sky's grey arc. Smiling I watch the shaken elbows, knowing it is the wind of March. Between the passing and the coming season, the stormy interlude gives to our winter-wearied hearts a reason for trustful gratitude. Welcome to waiting ears its harsh forewarning of light and warmth to come, the longed-for joy of nature's eastern morning, the earth arisen in bloom. In the loud tumult winter's strength is breaking, I listen to the sound, as the voice of resurrection waking to lift the dead cold ground. Between these guests to the soft laps a hearken of rivulets on their way. I see these tossed on naked tree tops darken the fresh leaves of May. With the roar of storm, the skies are grey and lowering, and white the airs of spring, a warmer sunshine over fields of flowering, the bluebird's song and wing. Closely behind the Gulf storm breezes follow the northern hurricane, and borne beyond, the bobolink and swallow shall visit us again. And the green woodpaths in the kind-fed pasture, and by the whispering wells, shall flowers repeat the lesson of the master, fought on his Syrian hills. Blow and wild wind, thy roar shall end in singing, thy child in blossoming. Come, like Bethesda's travelling angel, bringing the healing of a spring. The Wish of Today, by John Greenleaf Whittier. I ask not now for gold to gild with mocking shine a very frame. The yearning of a mind is stilled, I ask not now for fame. A rose cloud dimly seen above, melting in heaven's blue depths away. How sweet for dream of human love, for we I may not pray. But bowed in lowliness of mind, I make my humble wishes known. I only ask a will resigned, O Father, to thine own. Today beneath thy chastening eye, I crave alone for peace and rest, submissive in thy hand to lie, and feel that it is best. A marvel seems the universe, a miracle our life and death, a mystery which I cannot pierce, around above beneath. In vain I task my aging brain, in vain the sage thought I scan. I only feel how weak and vain, how poor and blind is man. And now my spirit sighs for home, and longs for light whereby to see, and like a very child would come, O Father, unto we. How oft, like letters traced on sand, my weak resolves have passed away, and mercy lend a helping hand unto my prayer today. The Wood Giant, by John Greenleaf Whittier. From Elton Bay to Sandwich Doom, from Mare to Saco River, for patriarchs of a primal wood we sought with Wayne and Daver. And when we said, the giants old are lost beyond retrieval, this Pikemer grove the access spared is not a wood prime vale. Look where we will, o'er vale and hill, or idle are our searches, for broad-curved maples, wildland oaks, centennial pines and birches. The tortured limbs the accents saw have changed to beams and trestless. They rest in the walls, they float in seas, they rot in sunken vessels. The shorn and wasted mountain land of underbrush and boulder, who thinks to see its full-grown tree must live a century older. At last to us a woodland path to open sunset leading, revealed the anarchy of pines, our wildest wish exceeding. Alone the level sun before, below the lake's green islands, beyond in misty distance dim the rugged northern highlands. Dark Titan on the sunset hill of time and change defined, or dwarfed the common woodland scene before the old-time giant. What marvel that in simpler days of the world's early childhood, men crowned with garlands, gifts and praise such monarchs of the wildwood? The Tyrian maids of flower and song danced through the hill-grove spaces, and hoary-birded druids found in wood the holy places. With somewhat of a pagan awe with Christian reverence blending, we saw our pine trees' mighty arms above our heads exceeding. We hear his needle's mystic rune now rising and now dying, as erst Adona's priestress heard the oak leaves prophesying. What is the half-unconscious moan of one apart and maidless, the weariness of unshed power, the loneliness of greatness? Or dawns and sunset lend to him your beauty and your wonder, blithe sorrows sing thy summer song a solemn shadow under. Play lightly on his slender keys, O wind of summer, waking for hills like breeze the sound of seas on far-off beaches breaking, and let the eagle and the crow find shelter in his branches, when winds shake down his winter snow in silver avalanches. The brave are braver for their cheer, the strongest need assurance, the sigh of longing makes not less the lesson of endurance. The Word, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Voice of a Holy Spirit, making known man to himself, a witness swift and sure, warning, approving, true and wise and pure, counsel and guidance which misleadeth none. By thee the mystery of life is read, the picture and writing of a world's great seers, the myths and parables of our primal years, the letters kills, by thee interpreted, take healthful meanings fitted to our needs, and the soul's vernacular express the common law of simple rightedness. Hatred of cant and doubt of human creeds, there will be felt, the unpardonable sin is to deny the word of God within. The Worship of Nature, by John Greenleaf Whittier. The harp of nature's advent strung has never ceased to play, the song the stars of morning sung has never died away, and prayers made and praises given by all things near and far. The ocean looketh up to heaven and mirrors every star. Its waves are kneeling on the strand, as kneels a human knee, the white locks bowing to the sand, the priesthood of a sea. They pour their glittering treasures forth, their gifts of pearl they bring, and all the listening hills of earth take up the song they sing. The green earth sends its incense up from many a mountain shrine, from folded leaf and dewy cup she pours the sacred wine. The mists above the morning rills rise wide as wings of prayer, the altar curtains of the hills are sunset's purple air. The winds with hymns of praise are loud, or low with sobs of pain, the thunder organ of the cloud, the dropping tears of rain. With drooping head and branches crossed, the twilight forest grieves, or speaks with tongues of Pentecost from all its sunlit leaves. The blue skies the temple's arc, its transept earth and air, the music of its day march, the chorus of a prayer. So nature keeps the refrain frame with which her years began, and all its signs and voices shame the prayerless heart of man. Why will be done, by John Greenleaf Whittier. We see not, know not, all our way is night, but we alone is day, while the torrents troubled drift, above a storm our prayers we lift, why will be done? The flesh may fail, the heart may faint, but who are we to make complaint, or dare to plead in times like these, the weakness of our love of ease, why will be done? We take with solemn thankfulness our burden up, nor ask it less, and count it joy that even we may suffer, serve or wait for we, whose will be done. Though dim as yet in tint and light, we trace thy picture's wise design, and thank thee that our age supplies its dark relief of sacrifice, why will be done? And if in our unworthiness where sacrificial wine we press, if from the ordeal's heated baths our feet are seamed with crimson scars, why will be done? If for the age to come this hour of trial have victorious power, and blessed by we our present pain be liberty's eternal gain, why will be done? Strike of our master, we Waikees, the anthem of the destinies, the minor of our loftier strain, our heart shall breathe the old refrain, why will be done. To my friend on the death of his sister, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Thine is the grief, the depth of which another may never know, yet over the waters of my stricken brother do we go. I lean my heart unto thee, sadly folding the hand in mine, with even the weakness of my soul upholding the strength of wine. I never knew, like thee, the dear departed. I stood not by, when in calm trust the pure and tranquil hearted lay down to die. And on thy ears my words of weak condoling must vainly fall, the funeral bell which in the heart is toiling sounds over all. I will not mock thee with the poor world's common and heartless phrase, nor wrong the memory of a sainted woman with idle praise. With silence only, as the benediction, God's angels come, where in the shadow of a great affliction the soul sits dumb. Yet would I say that thy own heart approved our Father's will, calling to him the dear one whom he loved, is mercy still. Not even thee or thine the solemn angel have evil wrought, a funeral anthem is a glad evangel, the good die not. God calls our loved ones, but they lose not wholly what he hath given. They live on earth in thought and deed, as truly as in his heaven. And she is with thee in thy path of trial, she walketh yet, still with baptism of thy self-denial, her locks are wet. Up then, my brother, lo, the fields of harvest lie wide in view, she lives and loves thee, and the God thou serves to both is true. Trust in thy sickle, England's toil-worn pageant, my corn abide, and she thou mournest, ere pure and holy presence shall gleam beside. To Oliver Wendell Holmes, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Among the thousands who with hail and cheer with welcome thy new year, how few of all have passed as thou and I so many milestones by. We have grown old together, we have seen our youth and age between, 2 generations leave us, and today we with the third hold way. Loving and loved, a thought must backward run, to woes who, one by one, in the great silence and the dark beyond, vanished the farewell's font. Unseen, not lost, our grateful memories still the vacant places fill, and with a full voice greeting of new friends a tender whisper blends. Linked close in a pathetic brotherhood of mingled ill and good, of joy and grief, of grandeur and of shame, for but high more than blame. A giftless wine the very world to make more cheerful to thy sake, soothing the ears its misery pains with the old Hellenic strains, lightening the silent face of discontent with smiles for blessings sent. Enough of selfish railing has been had, thank God, for nought's more yet. Life is indeed no holiday, wherein are want and woe and sin, death and its nameless fears, and over all our pitying tears must fall. Sorrow is real, but the counterfight which folly brings to it, we need thy wit and wisdom to resist, our rarest optimist. Thy hand, old friend, the service of our days, in different moods and ways, may prove to woes so follow on our train, not valueless nor vain. Far off, and faint as echoes of a dream, the songs of boyhood seem, yet on our autumn boughs, unflown with spring the evening thrushes sing. The hour draws near, however delayed and late, when at the eternal gate we leave our words and work we call our own, and lift void hands alone. For love to fill, our nakedness of soul brings to that gate no toll. Giftless we come to him who all things gives, and life because he lives. Trust, by John Greenleaf Whittier. The same old baffling questions. Oh, my friend, I cannot answer them. In vain I send my soul into the dark, where never burn the lamps of science, nor the natural light of reason's sun and stars. I cannot learn their great and solemn meanings, nor discern the awful secrets of the eyes which turn evermore on us through the day and night, with silence challenge and a dumb demand, proffering the riddles of a dread unknown, like the calm sphinxes, with eyes of stone, questioning the centuries from the wilds of sand. I have no answer for myself of thee, save that I learned beside my mother's knee. All is of God what is, and is to be, and God is good. Let this suffice us still, resting in childlike trust upon his will, who moves to his great ends unthwarted by the hill. Word of a Day, by John Greenleaf Whittier. A sound of tumult troubles all the air, like the low thunders of a sultry sky, far rolling with the downward lightning's glare. The hailspace red with warnings, foes draw nigh, treating the dark with challenge and reply. Behold the burden of a prophet's vision, the gathering hosts, the valley of decision, dusk with the wings of eagles wheeling o'er. Day of the Lord of darkness and not light, it breaks in thunder and the whirlwinds roar, even so, Father, let thy will be done. Turn and outturn, and what woe has begun, in judgment or in mercy. As for me, if but the least and frailest, let me be evermore numbered with the truly free, who find thy service perfect liberty. I fain would thank thee that my mortal life has reached the hour, albeit through care and pain, when good and evil, as for final strife, close dim and vast on Armageddon's plain, and Michael and his angels once again drive howling back the spirits of the night. Of the fate to read the signs aright, and from the angel of a perfect sight, see trust's white banner floating on before, and the good cause, despite of venal friends, and base expedients, move to noble ends. See peace with freedom make to time amends, and through its cloud of dust the threshing floor, fade by the thunder, heave with chefless grain. What the birds said, by John Greenleaf, Whittier. The birds against the April wind flew northward, singing as they flew. They sang, "The land we leave behind has swords or corn blades, blood for dew." O wild birds flying from the south, what saw and heard ye gazing down? We saw the mortar's upturned mouth, the sickened camp, the blazing town. Band of the bivouac's starry lamps, we saw your march one children die. In shrouds of moss and cypress swamps, we saw your dead uncoffined lie. We heard the starving prisoners sigh, and saw from line and trench your sons follow our flight with homesick eyes beyond the blattery smoking guns. And heard and saw ye only wrong and pain, I cried. Our wing-worn flocks, we heard, they sing, the freedman's song, the crash of slavery's broken locks. We saw from new uprising states the treason-nourishing mischief spurned, as, crowding freedom's ample gates, the long estranged and lost returned. Our dusky faces seamed and old, and hands horn-hard with unpaid toil, with hope in every rusting fold, we saw your star-dropped flag uncoil. Struggling up through sounds accursed, a great murmur clomb the air, a whisper scarcely heard at first, it filled the listening heavens with prayer. And sweet and far, as from a star, replied a voice which shall not cease, till, drowning all the noise of war, it sings the blessed song of peace. So to me in a doubtful day of chill and slowly greening spring, low stopping from the cloudy grey, the wild birds sang or seemed to sing. They vanished in the misty air, the song went with them in their flight, but low ways left the sunset fair, and in the evening there was a light. What the traveller said at sunset, by John Greenleaf, Whittier. The shadows groan deep around me, I feel the devil in the air. The muezzin of the darkening thicket, I hear the night thrush call to prayer. The evening wind is sad with farewells, and loving hands unclasped from mine. Alone I go to meet the darkness across an awful boundary line. I saw the lighted hearts behind me, I pass with slow, reluctant feet. What awaits me in the land of strangeness? What face shall smile, what voice shall greet? What space shall awe, what brightness blind me? What thunder roll of music stun? What vast processions sweep before me, of shapes unknown beneath the sun? I shrink from unaccustomed glory, and dread the myriad voiced strain. Give me the unforgotten faces, and let my lost one speak again. He will not chide my mortal yearning, who is our brother and our friend, and who is for life, divine and human, the heavenly and the earthly blend. Mine be the joy of soul communion, the sense of spiritual strength renewed, the reverence for the pure and holy, the dear delight of doing good. Nor fitting ears mine to listen, and endless anthems rise and fall, nor curious eyes mine to measure the pearl gate and the jasper wall. For love must needs be more than knowledge. What matter if I never know where Aldebaran stars are ruddy, or warmer Sirius white as snow? Forgive my human words, O Father, I go a larger truth to prove. Thy mercy shall transcend my longing, I seek but love, and thou art love. I go to find my lost and mourned for, safe in thy sheltering goodness still, and all that hope and faith foreshadow, made perfect in thy holy will. What the voice said, by John Greenleaf, Whittier. Maddened by earth's wrong and evil, Lord, I cried in sudden ire, for a right hand cloud the thunder, shake the bolted fire. Love is lost and fate is dying, with a brood the man is sowed, and the dropping blood of labor hardens into gold. Hear the dying wail of famine, the bebeddled's groan of pain, and in silence, small-faced mammon reaping man like grain. Where's God, or we should fear him? Thus the earthborn Titans say. God, if thou art living, hear us, thus the weak ones pray. While the patient heaven upbraiding, spake a solemn voice within, whether of our Lord's forbearance, art thou free from sin? Fearless, bro, to him uplifting, canst thou for his thunders call, knowing that to guilt's attraction evermore they fall. Knowst thou not all germs of evil, and the hard await where time, not thyself, but God's restraining, stays the growth of crime? Couldst thou boast, O child of weakness, O sons of wrong and strife, were there strong temptations planted in their path of life? Who hast seen two streamlets gushing from one fountain clear and free, but by wildly varying channels searching for the sea? Glideth one through greenest valleys, kissing them with lips still sweet, one, mad roaring down the mountains, stagnates at their feet. Is it choice whereby the Pharisee kneels before his mother's fire? In his black tent did the heart choose his wandering sire? He alone whose hand is bounding human power and human will, looking through each soul surrounding, knows its good or ill. For thyself, art strong and sore, make to be a strong appeal. Coward word war not for utter what the heart must feel. Earnest words must needs be spoken, and a warm heart bleeds or burns, with scorn of wrong or hive of wronged by turns. But by all thy nature's weakness, hidden faults and follies known, we vow, in rebuking evil, conscious of thine own. Not the less shall stern-eyed duty to the lips her trumpet set, but with harsher blast shall mingle wailings of regret. Cease not, voice of holy speaking, teacher sent of God to be near, whispering through the day's cold silence, let my spirit hear. So when thoughts of evil doers wake in scorn or hatred move, shall a mournful fellow feeling temper all my love. Wilson, by John Greenleaf Whittier. The lowliest born of all the land, he wrung from fate's reluctant hand the gifts which happier boyhood claims, and tasted on the thankless soil the bitter bread of unpaid toil. He fed his soul with noble aims, and nature, kindly provident, to him the future's promised lent. The power that shaped man's destinies, patient and fate in toil, he knew, the clouds that raised around him grew, broad with great possibilities. With a low heart fire's fitful blaze, he read of old heroic days. The sage thought, the patriot speech, unhelped, alone, himself he taught. His school the craft at which he wrought, as law the book within his reach. He felt his country's need. He knew the work her children had to do, and when at last he heard the call on their behalf to serve and dare, beside his senatorial chair, he stood the unquestioned peer of all. Beyond the accident of birth, he proved his simple manhood's worth. Anchors of pride and classic grace confessed the large-brained artisan, so clear of sight, so wise in plan and counsel, equal to his place. With glance intuitive he saw through all disguise of form and law, and read men like an open book. Fearless and firm, he never quailed nor turned aside for threats, nor failed to do the things he undertook. How wise, how brave he was, how well he bore himself, let history tell, while waves our flag, our land and sea, nor black thread in its warp or weft, he found deserved states, he left a grateful nation strong and free. Winter Roses, by John Greenleaf Whittier. My garden roses long ago have perished from the leaf-strewn walks, the pale fair sisters smile no more upon the sweet briar stalks. Gone with the flower time of my life, spring's violets, summer's blooming bright, and nature's winter in my own stand flowerless side by side. So might I yesterday have sung, today in bleak December's noon come sweetest fragrance, shapes and hues, the rosy wealth of June. Bless the young bands that called the gift, and bless the hearts that prompted it. If undeserved it comes, at least it seems not all unfit. Of old my Quaker ancestors had gifts of 40 stripes save one. Today as many roses crown with the hairy head of a son. And with them, to my fancy eye, the fresh faced Gulliver smile and come, and 39 happy girls make glad a lonely room. They bring the atmosphere of youth. The light and warmth of long ago are in my heart, and on my cheek the airs of morning blow. Are buds of girlhood yet unblown, and fairer than the gift you choose. For you may years like leaves unfold the heart of Sharon's rose. Within the Gate, by John Greenleaf Whittier. We sat together last May Day, and talked of the dear friends who walked beside us, share of our hopes and fears, for 45 years, since first we met in freedom's hopeful lawn, and heard her battle horn sound through the valleys of the sleeping north, calling her children forth. And youth pressed forward with hope-lighted eyes, and age with forecast wise, of a long strife before the triumph won, girded his armor on. Sadly, as name by name we called the roll, we heard the dead bells toll, for the unanswering many, and we knew the living were the few. And we who waited our own call before the invitable door, listened and looked, as all have done to win some token from within. No sign we saw, we heard no voices call, the impenetrable wall cast down its shadow like an awful doubt on all who sat without. Of many a hint of life beyond the veil, of many a ghostly tale, where with the ages span the gulf between the seen and the unseen, seeking from omen, trance, and dream to gain solace to doubtful pain, and touch with groping hands the garment hem of truth sufficing them. We talked, and turning from the sore unrest of an all-baffling quest, we thought of holy lives who had from us passed, hopeful unto the last, as if they saw beyond the river of death, like him of Nazareth, the many mansions of eternal days lift up the gates of praise. And hushed to silence by reverent awe, we thought, O friend, I saw in thy true life of word and work and thought the proof of all we sought. Did we not witness in the life of we immortal prophecy, and feel when with me that my footsteps trod an everlasting road? Not for brief days the generous sympathies, by scorn of selfish ease, not for the poor price of an earthly goal, by strong uplift of soul. The wine was never turned a fonder heart to nature and to art, and fair formed Hellas in a golden prime, by Philippe's time. Yet loving beauty, thou couldst pass it by, and for the poor deny thyself, and see thy fresh sweet flower of fame thither in blight and blame. sharing his love who holds in his embrace the lowliest of our race. Sure, the divine economy must be conservative or weak. For truth must live with truth, self-sacrifice seek out its great allies. Good must find good by gravitation sure, and love with love endure. And so since thou hast passed within the gate, whereby a while I wait, I give blind grief and blinder sense the lie, thou hast not lived to die. Wordsworth, by John Greenleaf Whittier. Dear friends, who read the world aright, and in its common forms discern a beauty and a harmony the many never learn. Kindred and soul of him who found in simple flower and leaf and stone the impulse of the sweetest lace our Saxon tongue has known, except with a record of a life as sweet and pure, as calm and good, as a long day of blandest June in green field and in wood. How welcome to our ears, long pained by strife of sect and party noise, a brook-like murmur of a song of nature's simple joys. The violet by its mossy stone, the primrose by the river's brim, enchants on the fold he hath found immortal life through him. The sunrise on his breezy lake, the rosy tints his sunset brought, world scene are gladdening all the vales and mountain peaks of thought. Art builds on sand the works of pride, and human passion change and fall. What Whittier shares the life of God, with him surviveth all.